5 o'clock.
Learn about smart betting strategies with AnyBet. Bet wisely, enjoy responsibly, and maximize your success. The temperature by AnyBet is
32 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 30 out west in Montego Bay.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Robianne Williams.
In Nationwide News at this hour, major traffic changes coming across the corporate area on Sunday as the JLP and PNP supporters are expected to descend on Halfway Tree and Crossroads.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness again hits back at critics of his ribbon-cutting blitz.
The Trump administration has praised Jamaica for its strides in reducing major crimes.
The police are hunting over 200 known violence producers in its quest to continue the downward trajectory in crimes.
Data protection expert says citizens have a right to their medical records.
When you go to a medical practice and a doctor makes notes in his files about your medical condition, you now own that information about you.
In news from the rest of the world, new leadership appointed in Haiti as gangs threaten to overthrow government.
Israel says it plans to destroy Hamas by taking full control of Gaza.
In headline sports, Jamaica to face familiar foes in one semi-final of CONCACAF Under-15 football tournament in Aruba.
And later in our broadcast, in the cover story at 5:35, the governing JLP and opposition PNP are hosting mass rallies across the corporate area on Sunday. The JLP will be in Halfway Tree Square, while the PNP will be not far away in Crossroads Square. There are concerns about why the rallies were approved so close to each other. Head of PSTEV, ACP Dr. Gary McKenzie, will join us.
In public opinion at 6:26, we ask, on a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate the Grand Gala? Give us your comments by logging on to our Facebook page, Nationwide News Network, and by tweeting us at Nationwide Radio, and message us on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693. You can also leave your comments on Instagram at Nationwide 90FM.
In the nation's business at 6:40, what are some of the key promises that have not been kept by the governing JLP from its 2020 manifesto? We'll go through them for you.
At 7, CEO of the Amber Group, Deshant Savadia, will join us to talk about NNN's new app and website, Revo.
All these and more as we take you home on air on your mobile, Nationwide 90FM, Nationwide Radio, JM.com, and on the Nationwide app. It's available on the Google Play and the App Store. This Thursday afternoon, it's Thursday, August 7, 2025.
This hour is brought to you by KFC Buckets. Let's bucket together with a KFC Family 9, Family 12, Party 15, or Party 21 bucket. Because sharing a bucket with friends tastes finger-licking good.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90FM.
And now to the details. Motorists and members of the public are being advised to brace for significant traffic changes and parking restrictions across Kingston this Sunday, as both major political parties are set to stage mass rallies in two of the city's busiest intersections. Robian Williams reports.
The Jamaica Labour Party, JLP, will be hosting its event in Halfway Tree Square, while the People's National Party, PNP, will gather supporters in Crossroads Square. That's just about a 2-mile distance. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is widely expected to announce the date of the country's 18th general election at the Halfway Tree mass meeting. In anticipation of large crowds, the police have announced that both squares will be closed to vehicular traffic between 12 noon and 12 midnight. Commuters are being urged to complete errands or travel through those areas before midday. To facilitate the JLP's meeting, traffic diversions in and around Halfway Tree will take effect from 11 a.m. to midnight. Parking for Halfway Tree meeting will be allowed along Constant Spring Road in West Lane only, between South Avenue and Courtney Walsh Drive. Parking will also be allowed along Halfway Tree Road between Cargill Avenue and Holy Childhood High School. No parking will be allowed beyond the school. The strict no parking zones will be Hope Road, Hagley Park Road, Malines Road, and Eastwood Park Road. In Crossroads, traffic adjustments will also begin at 11 a.m. and continue until midnight. Parking for the PNP meeting will be allowed on Slipe Road, south of Courts, Studio One Boulevard in the Western Lane only. Parking will also be allowed on Caledonia Crescent, on off-roads north of Halfway Tree and Retirement Road, and plazas and off-roads east of Old Hope and Eureka intersection. No parking will be allowed on Halfway Tree Road and Old Hope Road. The police are encouraging all attendees to cooperate with traffic personnel on the ground and to observe posted signs. Pedestrians and motorists alike are being urged to exercise patience, obey the rules, and plan ahead to avoid delays. Robeanne Williams for Nationwide News.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is again rejecting claims the government is hosting a series of ribbon-cutting ceremonies in order to gain political points ahead of the general election. Last month, the PNP's Damien Crawford blasted the government for its multiple ribbon-cutting ceremonies.
The way them under pressure, them just a walk a cut ribbon. What do you me look a 2-year-old come from school with bubbles alone? I call up a school, I say, want to a ribbon, them say, Andrew cut it. I could not believe.
But speaking at a groundbreaking ceremony today, Dr. Holness says his government has a duty to deliver for the Jamaican people.
2 months ago, I was here breaking ground for another of this, but they are all programmed and I can't stop them because of politics. So you're going to see house on top of house on top of house on top of house, ribbon cut on top of ribbon cut and ground breaking on top of ground breaking. It's just so the thing said. We don't have any pipeline of projects. We have a train line of projects. You know, you can look on the track and see what is to come. When it's in the pipeline, you only hear the sound, the gushing sound of wind going through. You're not quite sure when the water is coming. But the way we do things, we have a train line of projects and you can look and see all the carts on the train having a project coming. You know, there was a former prime minister, when she was asked what she was doing, she said, working. Well, you know, I am working.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness.
The police say they're on the hunt for more than 200 known violence producers across the country. Deputy Commissioner in charge of Crime and Security Richard Stewart says investigators will not relent until the suspects are brought to justice.
Intelligence have pointed to 212 individuals across the island that have committed at least 3 murders. Our investigators are actively pursuing these cases with the ultimate goal of bringing them to justice. Additionally, intelligence also identified 127 active criminal gangs across the island, which require constant attention as we work to disrupt, degrade, and dismantle their operations.
The figures come amid a sustained reduction in murders this year. So far this year, murders are down nearly 42% across the country, while major crimes have seen a 17% reduction. Those figures have been described as the envy of every Caribbean nation. But there are also concerns about the dramatic increase in police killings, which have increased by more than 100% since the start of the year. In praising the hard work of the police, DCP Stewart says nearly 200 murder charges have been laid so far this year.
Since the start of the year, our members have laid 197 charges for murder, 148 charges for shootings, 664 charges for breaches of the Firearms Act. Let me pause to point out that of the 664 firearm charges, 641 persons were at the time of their arrest in possession of a firearm.
DCP Richard Stewart, head of the JCF Crime and Security Portfolio. He was speaking at the recent opening of the new Anchovy Police Station in St. James.
A man has been charged in connection with the January 2025 murder of 59-year-old teacher Angela Hamilton in St. Mary. The accused has been identified as 31-year-old Delroy Palmer of Pear Tree Grove in the parish. Palmer was charged on Sunday, August 3. According to the police, the charge follows extensive forensic investigations that reportedly linked Palmer to the crime. Hamilton was last seen on January 10 as she left for work. Her body was discovered the following afternoon by a friend who found her inside her home with several stab wounds. The police were summoned and the scene secured. The Area 2 Scenes of Crime Unit processed the scene and collected evidence. The material was sent to the Institute of Forensic Science and Legal Medicine, where DNA analysis revealed a match with Palmer. The police say 3 suspects were initially taken into custody during the probe, but it was the forensic evidence that ultimately tied Palmer to the murder. Investigations in the case are ongoing.
The Trump administration has praised Jamaica for its efforts to reduce crime and violence in the country. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio gave the commendation as he congratulated Jamaica on 63 years of independence. In a media release, Secretary Rubio says Jamaica's crime-fighting efforts reinforce the shared partnership and commitment to prosperity between the two countries. The U.S. and Jamaica have shared a long diplomatic partnership grounded in security cooperation and mutual economic opportunity. This is not the first time that the U.S. has commended Jamaica for its crime-fighting efforts. In March, Secretary Rubio, on a visit to the island, committed to reviewing the travel advisory that cautioned Americans visiting Jamaica. It particularly zeroed in on the high crime rate and towns deemed unsafe across the country. Rubio agreed the advisory did not represent the advancements the country has made in crime reduction. The State Department has since upgraded Jamaica's travel advisory, moving it from Level 3 to Level 2. It's the second lowest rating on the 4-point scale.
Attorney at Law Chuck Cameron says the country's Data Protection Act entitles all Jamaicans full access to their medical and other personal records. His comments come amid concerns that citizens are being charged by medical practitioners in order to access health records. Those charges run as high as 20,000 Jamaican dollars. But according to Cameron, access is guaranteed under law. Khaleesi Wright reports.
Nationwide News has received complaints from a woman who has been dealing with health challenges for more than 20 years. In order to protect her identity, we will not name her. The woman says she was given a diagnosis, but when even more severe symptoms emerged, it prompted her to seek a second medical opinion. The woman could not recall all the symptoms she had been experiencing 20 years ago, and so she requested a medical report from her doctor. She has been seeing that doctor for approximately 10 years. The woman says she was told that she would have to pay $20,000 to access the medical report. She's expressing concern over being charged to access personal information that could aid in securing health care. Attorney at Law Chuck Cameron says all citizens are entitled to that kind of medical information.
All Jamaican citizens own their personal data. That means when you go to a medical practice and a doctor makes notes in his files about your medical condition, you now own that information about you. Even when there is a doctor's opinion of you, that is considered to be your sensitive personal information. That right, that constitutional right, has been encoded in the Data Protection Act, and the Data Protection Act gives you the right to make a data subject access request. The data controller, in this case the doctor, has 30 days to give you your information that you have requested. Failing to give you that information within 30 days exposes you to criminal sanction.
Mr. Cameron says the only fees that may be required are administrative fees.
If it is you want the doctor to prepare a medical report, you may well have to pay him for his time. However, if it's just a matter of the notes and your file that you want, you may have to cover any administrative costs that may be involved. So if it is you have to make a copy of something and you have to pay $10 or $5 per page, that is what's acceptable. But I even believe the regulation speaks to how much you can charge. I have to check that. So that's on the first issue. I know that runs contrary to what has been the practice, because before the declaration and before the Data Protection Act, common law used to dictate that the doctor owns the notes that he made of it because that represents his intellectual property. That is no more.
The Data Protection Act provides a guideline for the handling of personal data to protect the rights and privacy of individuals. It was passed in 2020 and came into effect in 2023. Khaleesi Wright for Nationwide News. In the race to 32, facts matter.
Did you know that the constituency of South East St. Anne has voted for the PNP in every contested general election? Yes, that's a fact. South East St. Anne was added to the list of constituencies for the 1959 general election. Since that time, the PNP has won in every general election, barring 1983 when the party boycotted the national polls. Even in 1980, when the PNP's orange wall collapsed nationally, South East St. Anne stood firm, being one of the 9 seats represented by a PNP MP in the House of Representatives. When the PNP boycotted the 1983 general election, the JLP's Patricia Pink won the seat with 3,185 votes, while her challengers Hugh Cummock, an independent, and H.C. Johnson of the Jamaica United Front poured 263 votes between them.
This nationwide Did You Know fact is part of our coverage for the race to 32 as we preview the next general election.
You're listening to the news on Nationwide at 5. We'll have more after these.
It's IQ Optical's sizzling summer sale. For this month only, get 50% off lenses when you purchase a frame. Kids get free lenses with a purchase of a frame. Make the intelligent choice with IQ Optical. Conditions apply. The time by IQ Optical is
16 minutes after 5.
Rentokil Initial offers air purification solutions with triple filtration and unique auto-sensing capabilities that neutralizes malodor and replaces it with clean air. Call Rentokil Initial at 926-4236 for more details.
The temperature by Rentokil is
30 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 29 out west in Montego Bay.
The wait is over. Spark is coming to you. Across Jamaica, we'll be fixing 10 roads per constituency. Over 100 roads will be fixed by September and 630 roads overall. This is real action, real improvement, real results. Every Jamaican deserves safer, stronger roads. Spark, the next chapter in Jamaica's infrastructure development.
Continuing the news, Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says Jamaicans should be wary of narratives claiming the country is heading in the wrong direction. He was speaking at the groundbreaking ceremony for the new University Hospital of the West Indies Medical Tower in St. Andrew on Thursday.
Today is a manifestation of a long period of planning. Never start yesterday. And it's not happening because an election is pending, by the way. You don't get to this point if you never had years of discussion and planning. We are where we are. I make that point to say we have to understand that things don't happen overnight and things don't happen by whim and fancy and by wishing them into being. We also have to understand, I hope, that those who say that we are moving in the wrong direction, we have to be wary of that kind of rhetoric, because if they get the chance to move us in their interpretation of the right direction, then we could see a derailment of the progress that we are making today that has taken some time for us to get here.
The 6-story facility is expected to result in the expansion of service to Jamaicans. The medical tower will house advanced diagnostic and imaging centers, expanded emergency and critical care facilities, modern surgical suites, comfortable patient rooms, spaces for medical education and research, and areas for family support and wellness. In June, the Health and Wellness Minister also disclosed that lands had been identified for the construction of a new Kingston Public Hospital. He also announced that lands have been identified to build a new hospital in Bernard Lodge in St. Catherine. Minister Tufton says over the 9 years of the Holness administration, they've managed several health crises while maintaining the strategic direction to transform the sector.
Over the last 9 years, we have confronted CHIKV, the tail end of it anyway, started under the previous administration. Then we confronted ZIKV. Then we had 1 year of a dengue outbreak. Then we had the collapse of Cornwall Regional. And the big elephant in the room, of course, was COVID for nearly 3 years. It would have been very easy to focus on trying to solve those problems, which we did. and did a credible job at it, if I dare say so myself, but also by others who have said it, and not focus on the bigger vision of where we want to bring our health infrastructure to. We didn't. This government addressed the crises as they unfolded, while at the same time kept focus on the strategic direction.
Dr. Christopher Tufton, Health and Wellness Minister.
Nationwide News has partnered with the Amber Group to launch an innovative approach to news and current affairs production in Jamaica. It's called Revo AI. The artificial intelligence-powered website offers users an immersive experience which personalizes their consumption of information. CEO of the Amber Group, Dushan Savadia, says the website represents a major step forward for the regional media landscape.
What we've done is built a brand new site for Nationwide, which is now rebranded, as you've suggested, as Revo. Revo's short form is from revolution, to bring a revolution in media through AI, through generation of content, through distribution of content via AI, including giving a voice conversation to everything that happens in the media world in real time, very, very fast.
The website will be available to the general public as of August 21. Users will be able to access interactive chat rooms on each news story, customize their reading experience to specific topics, and interact with an AI version of veteran broadcast journalist and talk show host Cliff Hughes. Savadia joined Hughes on Thursday for a live demonstration of the AI capabilities of the new site. Cliff Hughes asked the AI version a series of questions. Here's a section of the exchange.
When is it likely that Jamaica's next general elections will be announced? That's an important topic. Let me look into the most recent details on when Jamaica's next general elections might be announced. So here's what I found. Jamaica's next general elections are scheduled for 2025, and the parliament is set to dissolve by September 15th. The general election will be held no later than September, according to the Jamaica Labour Party's General Secretary. If you want more details or have another question, just let me know. Jamaica has just celebrated an independence, another year of independence. When was Jamaica made an independent country, and from which country was Jamaica able to gain its independence? Let's see what's being said about Jamaica's independence. Just a sec while I check the most up-to-date info for you. Jamaica became an independent country on August 6, 1962, gaining its independence from the United Kingdom. This date is now celebrated every year as Jamaica's Independence Day. If you'd like to know more about the celebrations or the history, just let me know.
That's Emmy Award veteran journalist Cliff Hughes questioning an AI version of himself. Now, the new website Revo will also be available as a mobile app and integrate several digital radio stations, Nationwide's YouTube stream, and the station's traditional 90 FM radio stream.
This is a Nationwide election nugget.
Carl Samuda and Lester Michael Henry tie for the distinction of having been the country's longest-serving members of parliament. Both men entered the House of Representatives in 1980. Carl Samuda has represented North Central St. Andrew unbroken since that date. It's a similar story for Mike Henry over in Central Clarendon. That marks almost 45 years of uninterrupted service in the House of Representatives. However, both men signaled their retirements and will not seek re-election when elections are held in the coming weeks.
That was a Nationwide election nugget.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
The World in a Minute
A wealthy businessman on Thursday became the head of Haiti's Transitional Presidential Council, tasked with restoring order in the troubled country. The appointment marked the first time that members of Haiti's private sector serve in both the rotating presidency and the post of prime minister. However, a top gang leader has vowed to overthrow the government. The new leader's office is located in Port-au-Prince, where criminal gangs control 90% of the neighborhoods.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he plans to destroy Hamas by taking full control of the Gaza Strip. Netanyahu says Gaza's administration would then be transferred to friendly Arab forces. The Prime Minister's plans were disclosed as Israel's Security Cabinet discussed a widening of its 22-month offensive.
World in a Minute was brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose Assembly and Supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
Recapping the top stories making nationwide news at this hour. Brace for major traffic changes across the corporate area on Sunday as JLP and PNP supporters will descend on Halfway Tree and Crossroads for mass rallies.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness hits back at critics of his ribbon-cutting blitz.
The police are hunting over 200 known violence producers in the quest to continue the downward trajectory in crimes.
Data protection expert says citizens have a right to their medical records.
I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Roby-Ann Williams.
Listeners, you can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app. It's available on the Google Play and the App Store. News next. The headlines at 6.
GPS! Keep it cool, keep it cool. Summertime hot, but we have all the tools. Keep it cool.
Enough ways to see it, you just have to choose. Stay out of the fridge, just use a igloo. Remember your Kisco ice and the juice.
The fan AC combo, yeah, I hit that. AC fear be pen up and after that. Keep it cool.
This summer JPS have all the tools.
Keep you cool with JPS. Download the JPS app today.
Sports at 5 is brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools, every tool, every trade.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. National 200 meters champion Ashanti Moore continued her recent rich vein of form by logging a new lifetime best in the women's 100 meters at the Serbia Athletics meeting in Belgrade on Thursday. Moore ran 10.94 seconds, becoming the latest Jamaican woman to clock a sub-11 second time in the 100 meters to win the event. The former Hydel High School standout is now the joint 16th fastest Jamaican woman over the 100 meters all time with Sheloni Calvert-Powell and Brianna Williams. Moore's previous personal best of 11.06 seconds set in 2023 and is now the 5th fastest Jamaican so far this year. In addition, she is the 26th Jamaican woman to dip under 11 seconds. Moore won the women's 200 meters at the national championships in late June and ran a new lifetime best and world championship qualifying time, 22.40 seconds 2 weeks ago in Austria. She was the 26th Jamaican woman to dip under 11 seconds. Crystal Slowly was 4th in the final, running 11.28 seconds. Meanwhile, Danielle Thomas Dodd won the women's shot put with 19 meters 04. Jamaica will play Trinidad and Tobago in the semi-finals of the CONCACAF Under-15 tournament after the Trinis defeated Barbados 3-0 on Thursday to top their group in League B. Jamaica had already secured top spot in Group D of League B following a 1-0 win over Curacao on Wednesday. Harborview FC's Kelvin Brown was the hero for the young Reggae Boys on Independence Day.
Ball lifted to the far post, bouncing around to the top of the D. Curacao still on it. Play it back to the corner man. Service right to the PK spot. And watch out for the counterattack. 2 additional minutes here as Jamaica head full of steam off the woodwork and the rebound, and it's good! Jamaica! a stoppage time scorcher. Happy Independence Day.
Jamaica ended the group stage with a perfect record from 3 games, 7 goals scored. They're yet to concede. Friday's semi-final in Aruba is scheduled to kick off at 3 p.m. Jamaica time. Paris Saint-Germain frontman and French international Ousmane Dembélé and the 18-year-old Spanish phenom Lamine Yamal of FC Barcelona. They lead the list of players nominated for the 2025 Ballon d'Or award. The 28-year-old Dembélé had a dazzling campaign for PSG, helping them to a first-ever Champions League title. This to go along with the French domestic double and also to the final of the FIFA Club World Cup. Dembélé is seen as the frontrunner, but Yamal and his Barcelona Brazilian teammate Rafinha are the strongest challengers after they won the domestic double in España and they reached the semi-finals of the Champions League. Manchester City striker Erling Haaland is also up for the prize, along with the likes of the Arsenal pair Declan Rice and Victor Gyökeres, and the Liverpool quartet of Virgil van Dijk, Alexis McAllister, Mohamed Salah. They've also been nominated. Chelsea playmaker Cole Palmer is the only other candidate from the Premier League. 7 members of the Paris Saint-Germain Champions League team have been named among the 30 nominees for the award, which will be handed out on Monday, September 22 at the Theatre de la Charité in Paris, France. That will do it for sports at the minute. We're going to be back, though, at 6:05 with much more.
Sports at 5 was brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools, every tool, every trade.
Cubby's Baby Wipes is ideal for your baby's delicate skin, infused with vitamin E and aloe vera, and available for home or on the go. The time by Cubby's Baby Wipes is
5:31.
Bosco Bell St. Mary is your newest gateway to Miami. Daily flights are available for your convenience. The temperature brought to you by the Airport Authority of Jamaica is
30 degrees Celsius here in the nation's capital, Kingston. It's 29 in the western city, Montego Bay.
KFC this summer, we are bucking together. All I vibe with your crew, yeah, we are stay true, the taste is so good. KFC, bucket on the ends with the real one. My island, we are world champion. All of we connect with the KFC. Jamrock celebrate with we. KFC, we are bucking together.
Let's bucket together with KFC. Enjoy a Family 9, Family 12, Party 15, or Party 21 bucket, because sharing a bucket with friends tastes finger-licking good. KFC.
The following is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
All roads lead to Halfway Tree Square this Sunday, August 10, 4 p.m. for the Jamaica Labour Party mass rally. Main address comes from Prime Minister and Party Leader, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness. Back-to-back JLP River come down mass rally, Halfway Tree Square this Sunday, 4 p.m. We choose Jamaica. See you there.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
I'm Dennis Brooks.
I'm Alan Campbell.
I'm Floyd Green.
And I'm Garth Williams. Catch us on the Jamaican Dads podcast right here on Nationwide 90 FM, Thursdays at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m.
The Jamaican Dads podcast is all about providing men with a healthy, safe, and functional forum to tackle many of the taboo topics that concern our masculinity.
Like everyone else out there, we're dads of varying amounts of experience who come from different backgrounds and often view the world differently.
We're definitely not perfect, but we are all brethren and we're all committed to this piece of rock called Jamaica.
Too often, there are no safe spaces for men to explore the issues which are important to us.
Plus, most of the content out there about parenthood is produced by women, for women. So we think it is important that we be the change we want to see.
Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Jamaican Dads with a Z.
And definitely join us here on Nationwide 90 FM every Thursday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m. for the Jamaican Dads podcast. It's a revolution in media.
Cover Story is brought to you by
Multilink. Roll with control. Use Multilink. Save fast and accepted in more locations.
Multilink. Access every time, everywhere I go. Multilink.
24/7 access for me. It's just a win-win when we use multi-link. This card is Jamaican built, yeah. Fast and secure, you can use anywhere, spend while supporting the economy.
Look for the multi-link logo on your card and benefit from Jamaica's largest debit payment network.
Multi-link, 24/7 access for me.
What would I do without my multi-link?
Good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us here on Nationwide at 5. It's time for the cover story. I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
How are you, Siobhan?
Doing quite well.
Watched Grand Gala yesterday?
It was quite a fascinating thing. Even though I had to work the same day, but I still snuck some time to watch it on YouTube.
Good. Yeah, I thought it was excellent. Huge commendations to the team at the Ministry of Culture.
They seem to do it better every year. Somehow.
They do. Led by the Culture Minister, Olivia Green. And I suspect that's because she's been doing it for so long now. I think she was the executive producer, I recall hearing. But I thought it was really good. I especially enjoyed that Port Royal bit.
Yes.
And the children singing. Yeah, that was good. Kudos to the team. Well done. All right, so listeners, the country's two major political parties are set to have their mass rallies in the corporate area on Sunday. The governing JLP will host their rally in Halfway Tree, and speculation is rife that Prime Minister Holness will call the general election at that meeting. The opposition PNP set to host a rally in Crossroads.
Concerns have emerged about the proximity of the two meetings and how will the police ensure there are no clashes or confrontations between the supporters, and what are the preparations being made. Well, we're now being joined by Head of the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, that's PSTEB, ACP Dr. Gary McKenzie. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ACP.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Good afternoon to listeners and viewers.
Thank you so much for joining us. Let me start by asking if you could assist our listeners in understanding how this process works. When you are going to give approval for such a massive event, what's the process like?
Well, so the process takes in several things. One is that the persons from the various entities would actually pen what the concept is in terms of the meeting, in terms of location, estimated crowds, what the duration, what it involves, and so on. Once that is done, there are generally meetings to look at the logistics. The police will look at several issues to include movement of traffic, safety of persons moving from one place to another. In particular, this type of meeting, persons are likely to be moving from several areas across Jamaica, and it could be far and wide. So we look at the various routes, we discuss these with the organizers, and so on.
And so, having taken all of that into consideration, ACP, the PSTEB, the operations branch, felt that this was a good idea? Because as you can imagine, members of the public are anxious and tense over the proximity, how close they'll be.
Well, you ask whether or not we consider it to be a good idea. What we look at first and foremost is the safety and security of everyone in terms of whether or not there will be anything that will affect it. We also would look at what has transpired, certainly leading up to these meetings, and based on what we have seen, it has been quite mature. We have to look at where those, you said that they are not very far from each other, but when we look at the various routes, if you look at it, which we can get into, there are several ways in which persons can actually reach to the locations, and so it is a matter for us to be prepared to manage the process from both ends.
All right, so let me give you an example of a route. I'm thinking about the laborites who are coming from West Kingston, right? So they're coming up to go into Crossroads and then to Halfway Tree. That would be the traditional route. And then there are the comrades who are coming from South St. Andrew or Southwest St. Andrew in the south. they are going to Crossroads. So how do you and your men and women ensure that the two camps don't meet? Because we're thinking of probably hundreds of buses, cars, that kind of a thing, generally coming from the same direction in some instances. How do you ensure they don't meet?
So, well, the two places you mentioned, that is pretty easy. Because if you are moving from West Kingston to Halfway Tree, then Marcus Garvey Drive, Agley Park Road is an easy way. The other from South St. Andrew, Spanish Town Road, Maxfield, Lindus Road to Crossroads is an easy route.
So your men and women are going to enforce that the supporters must take particular routes to get to the meetings?
No, it's not a matter of enforce. Remember, in my initial statement, I spoke about discussions with the organizers. Remember, we are dealing with persons who they have the interest of the people of Jamaica at heart, and they want the meetings to be held.
So in other words, you've gotten assurances from the political parties that they'll abide by particular routes.
Let us not rush to assurance.
Okay, how would you say it?
ACP Mackenzie said the simple.
Right. So if you allow me to say it, then
go ahead.
You will understand what I'm saying. So I'm saying it is a matter of discussing what the logistics are in terms of movement and so on to the various locations. And a part of the discussion that we will have, or we have had with the organizers, is how the various teams, how best they will be able to reach to the destinations and back. And a part of our responsibility would be to monitor those routes to ensure that people move from one area to the other safely.
Well, moving beyond that, though, ACP Mackenzie, I'm sure the PSTEP does its own security and threat assessments in terms of the proximity of the two meetings. Have you assured yourself, based on that assessment, that you foresee no trouble happening on this day?
Right. So we are not seeing any trouble. Well, I am not certain what is the gamut of what you call trouble, but if you are referring to political violence, we are not foreseeing that. And we are nevertheless prepared to treat with it. And also, what we are able to say to you is that the process of intelligence gathering and ensuring that we are prepared, it is ongoing. It is not one which is static. And what I have to say is that at this particular time, we believe that there is no threat that will prevent them from being held.
But ACP, and I suppose we have to be realistic in this matter. When the proposals were brought to you, did it not at least cause an eyebrow to be raised and at least require you to some extent to call upon one of the political parties to maybe reconsider and choose a different day?
Well, I don't know if you expect a police force such as ours, which has the capability and the capacity to ensure that the citizens of Jamaica are safe, to say that we are not able to police to meetings. I'm sure you are not saying that. What I think you should be saying is whether or not we have done the work in terms of looking at what are the risks and whether or not, based on what we have gathered, that those meetings can be held and held safely and securely. That is what I am expecting you to say.
Just about how many people are you estimating between the two rallies?
Well, based on what we have gathered and based on the history of meetings such as those, it could range between 50 or so thousand.
50,000. And you will have enough boots on the ground to sufficiently man the movements, in the case of the JLP, coming from all over the island, and in the case of the PNP, across all the constituencies in Kingston and St. Andrew?
Certainly.
Who did you receive the request from first to host the rallies?
I am not going to get into that.
But you'd imagine the Jamaican people would want to know that, though, ACP.
No, I don't think that they are particularly concerned with that.
No, I can tell you the comments online suggest it. I just got a message asking if ACP lives in the same Jamaica that we do. So I think it is important, ACP.
Sometimes when we ask these questions, we are generally burdened by the past.
And what makes you so optimistic? Because, for example, let me just give another example. For example, we heard of a shooting incident in Central Kingston just 2 days ago?
Yes.
Where the incumbent member of parliament, a sitting lawmaker, shots were fired in his direction. We've heard of that. You have
also heard, based on the discussion with the commanding officer this morning, about the fact that it was not politically motivated.
What about the vandalism across several constituencies that have heightened the tensions? I mean, you talked about intelligence. I'm assuming that's part of what you've considered.
Definitely. And of course, when it comes on to this particular season, there are a number of things that we always look for. And certainly what you have mentioned, those are possibilities. What I have to say to you, though, is that all those have been considered. And we continue to do the work around ensuring that we are on top of all the information and intelligence that can be gathered so that we can execute properly.
All right. Hold it for us, ACP. After the break, I want to talk about the other things like hospitals and if there's an emergency, how that will be dealt with, the actual logistics after the break.
Clear your barrels and personal shipments with ease and convenience. Request a customs contactless clearance today through CCP at jca.gov.jm. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is...
It's 5:46.
Burn Shack fried chicken always ready. Burn Shack, original crispy. Burn Shack, Cajun spicy. Burn Shack, a barbecue. Burn Shack, we are go a Burn Shack.
The temperature brought to you by Bird Shack Fried Chicken in Montego Bay and Ocho Rios is
29 degrees Celsius in Ocho Rios. It's also 29 out west in Montego Bay. Got it right this time.
Paying bills just got easier. With Evolve Bill Pay, the new bill payment service by Supreme Ventures, you can settle your light, water, telephone, and internet bills at over 180 Supreme Ventures locations island-wide, right where you live and shop. Pay, play, and go with Evolve Bill Pay. Evolve Bill Pay. Fast, easy, right round the corner.
KFC this summer, we are bucking together. All our vibe with your crew, yeah, we are stay true, the taste is so good. KFC, bucky on the ends, be the real one. My island, we are world champion. All we connect with the KFC. Jamrock celebrate with we. KFC, we are bucking together.
Let's buck it together with KFC. Enjoy a Family 9, Family 12, Party 15, or Party 21 bucket because sharing a bucket with friends tastes finger-licking good. KFC.
GPS. Keep it cool, keep it cool. Summertime hot, but we have all the tools. Keep it cool, keep it cool. No ways to see it, you just have to choose. Stay out of the fridge, just use a igloo. Remember your Kisco ice and the juice. If an AC combo, yeah, I hit that. AC for a bit, then off and after that. Keep it cool, keep it cool. This summer JPS have all the tools. Keep you cool with JPS. Download the JPS app today.
Welcome back, listeners and viewers. We're talking logistics and politics. Two of the political parties are holding massed rallies in the corporate area on Sunday, that being the JLP in Halfway Tree and the People's National Party in Crossroads. We're speaking with ACP Gary McKenzie, Dr. Gary McKenzie, head of the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch. ACP, before I hand you to Ricardo to talk logistics, I want to ask you a very simple question. Does does P-STEP and more by extension you have a say in the approval of these events, or is it a matter of you're handed the dossier and you must do the best you can in terms of management of the situation?
These decisions are made by the high command of the force. That's all that I will say.
So even if you had doubts or concerns, it's not a matter that you could raise them beyond the high command. It's that you've gotten a directive and simply based on your assessment, you say, we have the boots on the ground and I'm confident that we can manage the situation.
No, what I'm saying is that, and take it that I'm a part of the high command. Of course, we, as I said before, we would assess that if we believe that there's any danger in the meetings occurring, then certainly those would be raised.
I want to ask you again, ACP, who did you get the request from first?
I am saying to you that that is not a matter that I am willing to speak about.
All right, let me ask you the question this way. How long ago were these meetings approved?
I am not willing to share that either.
Why, though, ACP?
Because I don't think that it matters. What I think that you want to discuss is whether or not the meetings will be held and whether or not the police will be able to ensure that they are held safely and securely. And that's what we are prepared to discuss.
Did you receive any of the requests in the last week?
The intricate details of how the police goes about approving and so on, that is not really a necessary issue.
I see. All right, so for Jamaicans who may have medical issues coming from the north, they need to get to KPH. What's the advice to them this afternoon?
Right, so if they are coming up from the north, and the north, based on the geography of our countries, Stony Hill, Constant Spring, and so on, they can access it quite easily through Trafalgar Road, Waterloo, Trafalgar, Old Hope Road, Tom Redcam Avenue, onto Arthur Wynne Drive.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of the manning, the medical manning of the rallies now, your partners, who are your partners to ensure that ambulances, in matters of fire perhaps, how do you coordinate that kind of logistics?
Right. So when we have meetings of this nature, or we have gatherings of this nature, several stakeholders are involved, and you have said some. So you certainly fire, certainly medical services will be on hand, certainly private security, and so on.
And you answered me earlier by saying, yes, you'll have enough boots on the ground. Are you prepared to say how many police officers will be across the corporate area?
What I'm prepared to say is that we have done our assessment and our logistics, and we will have adequate police personnel manning the event.
And you don't want to quantify what adequate is?
No. The adequacy of us manning the events is really our prerogative.
ACP, I can ask the question in a more roundabout way, so to speak, but are you concerned that based on the logistics and the manpower requirements for these two events, that it could cause P-STEP to lose resources in other areas?
No, it's not just P-STEP that will be a part of it. There is P-STEP, and there is the geographic divisions. And remember that the force does not have a fence. The force involves all the personnel across the country. So the entire mobilization of the force is very important with something like this. We spoke earlier about people moving from one place to another. So the mobilization will be as such, where the network of roads and so on, those will be monitored across all the areas where we know and expect people to be traveling from and to.
All right. ACP, Dr. Gary McKenzie, thank you so much for your time. And
you're most welcome.
We'll be paying attention to see the JCF execute, as you say, the force is capable of doing on Sunday.
Definitely. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All the best.
Man.
Yeah, man. We have a statement, listeners, from the JCF regarding that shooting incident in central Kingston. Siobhan, let's take it in turn. The High Command of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, is aware of reports concerning a shooting incident that occurred on the evening of Tuesday, August 5, 2025, in Kingston Central's Police Division. The incident reportedly involves Member of Parliament Donovan Williams and members of his campaign team.
The JCF says it views any report of gun violence with the utmost seriousness, particularly where it potentially threatens public safety or undermines the democratic process. It says we're treating this matter with the seriousness it deserves, and detectives from the Criminal Investigations Branch are actively probing the circumstances surrounding the incident.
The JCF says it maintains a zero-tolerance approach to violence in all its forms, including any act that may be politically motivated. It says as the nation proceeds through what has thus far been a peaceful election campaign, the JCF urges all Jamaicans to refrain from any form of political violence and to play their part in ensuring that the elections remain free, fair, and free from fear.
The JCF says as this investigation progresses, it assures the public that it will be conducted in a thorough, impartial, and professional manner. It's urging all individuals with relevant information to come forward and support the process of justice. The statement concludes that the safety and security of all Jamaicans remains the JCF's highest priority, and it will continue to act decisively to ensure that those who seek to disrupt peace and order are held accountable under the law.
So, essentially a statement of reassurance that it's taking the matter seriously. No information as to whether there are any suspects or any kind of leads being followed, but that's what the JCF has to say about it. I understand the Prime Minister is in central Kingston.
Yes.
Today.
Yes, as a sign of solidarity with Donovan Williams, and just to make it clear to people that he and none of our politicians would be cowed by any acts of violence.
I was looking at the images, and I think Robin was showing me a video. It's so interesting because 4 or 5 years ago, you wouldn't expect to see so much green in a place like Central Kingston. And I can't wait for the results of election night because, Cliff has been saying it, that there may be a realigning of the political landscape. And I do want to see whether those quote-unquote traditional seats that created upsets in 2020 will go back to their so-called
I quipped just a few minutes ago that it's a stronghold no more, it seems, because to see that many people in green shirts just openly traversing throughout the constituency was quite a shock to me.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Well, you hear it there. The police say that they are prepared and that they can manage what is expected on Sunday. Did he say he expects about 50,000?
Yes, 50,000.
About 50,000 supporters of the JLP and PNP combined to be between Crossroads and Halfway Tree. You can go on our website. We did post the full advisories. Robian gave you a report at the top of the 5 o'clock bulletin, but it's actually very detailed, so you know exactly where you can and cannot go, where you can park, where you can't park. And if you have to do business in that area, the police are saying you need to wrap it up by 12 noon, because for about 12 hours, those busy intersections will be off limits.
Tell me though, Ricard, to your recollection, has there been any similar circumstance in the past where two political events of this significance held on the same day in such close proximity, essentially walking distance?
I can't recall. I recall there was an incident in Portland. I think it was in the by-election, Damien Crawford against Anne-Marie Vaz, where they were pretty close, but obviously that was not on the scale that we expect to see on Sunday.
And I don't believe it was on the same day either.
Yeah, that's all I can remember, but I don't remember this happening. Which is why it would have been so important to hear who put in the request first. But being as astute as he is, ACP Mackenzie declined in a politically charged environment. Because obviously I think, I'm just going to say it, the person who put in the request
should be the one to be allowed.
The last person who put in the request should have been denied, I think. I think the first person should have gotten first dibs, and the other person could have probably chosen to go to Montego Bay, or in the case of the PNP, which obviously wants to have Kingston and St. Andrews rally in Kingston and St. Andrew, then perhaps another location or another date.
And I would agree with you on that. But I mean, at this point, we have to put faith in the institutions as they stand. We talked of the improvements in the police force, and the JCF says they can handle the matter. So I will put faith in the police that they believe that they can handle the matter, so that they will handle the matter as appropriately as they can.
What I'm most concerned about is not so much the going, is the leaving.
Yes, because there will be tension.
Yeah, after everybody's charged and active election call.
After the liquor has been flowing and the weed has been smoked.
Yeah, that's what I'm most concerned about. But as he says, they'll have the boots on the ground on the roots. So let us hope and let us pray that it's peaceful and incident-free and everybody can express their political preference without incident.
And that is what that's all we can hope for. We have had to this date, for the last 10, 15 years or so, essentially violence-free elections. We hope that we keep that record going forward.
It's 6 o'clock. Time for the headlines.
Cover Story was brought to you by
Multilink. Roll with control. Use Multilink. Safe, fast, and accepted in more locations.
The hour was brought to you by KFC Buckets. Let's bucket together with a KFC Family 9, Family 12, Party 15, or Party 21 bucket. Because sharing a bucket with friends tastes finger-licking good.
The time brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure, live easy is
6 o'clock.
Nationwide headlines at 6.
Good evening with the headlines at 6. I'm Shalois Michael. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is again rejecting claims the government is hosting a series of ribbon-cutting ceremonies in order to gain political points ahead of the general election. Speaking at a groundbreaking ceremony on Thursday, Dr. Holness says his government has a duty to deliver for the Jamaican people.
2 months ago, I was here breaking ground for another of this, but they are all programmed and I can't stop them because of politics. So you're going to see house on top of house on top of house on top of house, ribbon cut on top of ribbon cut and ground breaking on top of ground breaking. It's just so the thing said. We don't have any pipeline of projects. We have a train line of projects. You can look on the track and see what is to come. When it's in the pipeline, you only hear the sound, the gushing sound of wind going through. You're not quite sure when the water is coming. But the way we do things, we have a train line of projects and you can look and see all the carts on the train having a project coming. There was a former prime minister, when she was asked what she was doing, she said, working. Well, I am working.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. The police say they're on the hunt for more than 200 known violence producers across the country. Deputy Commissioner in charge of Crime and Security, Richard Stewart, says investigators will not relent until the suspects are brought to justice.
Intelligence have pointed to 212 individuals across the island that have committed at least 3 murders. Our investigators are actively pursuing these cases with the ultimate goal of bringing them to justice. Additionally, intelligence also identified 127 active criminal gangs across the island, which require constant attention as we work to disrupt, degrade, and dismantle their operations.
The figures come amid a sustained reduction in murders this year. Murders are down nearly 42% across the country, while major crimes have seen a 17% reduction. In praising the hard work of the police, DCP Stewart says nearly 200 murder charges have been laid so far this year.
Since the start of the year, our members have laid 197 charges for murder, 148 charges for shootings, 664 charges for breaches of the Firearms Act. Let me pause to point out that of the 664 firearm charges, 641 persons were at the time of their arrest in possession of a firearm.
DCP Richard Stewart, head of the JCF Crime and Security Portfolio. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says the Jamaicans should be wary of narratives claiming the country is heading in the wrong direction. He was speaking at the groundbreaking ceremony for the new Hospital of the West Indies Medical Tower in St. Andrew on Thursday.
Today is a manifestation of a long period of planning. Never start yesterday. And it's not happening because an election is pending, by the way. You don't get to this point if you never had years of discussion and planning. We are where we are. I make that point to say we have to understand that things don't happen overnight and things don't happen by whim and fancy and by wishing them into being. We also have to understand, I hope, that those who say that we are moving in the wrong direction, we have to be wary of that kind of rhetoric, because if they get the chance to move us in their interpretation of the right direction, then we could see a derailment of the progress that we are making today that has taken some time for us to get here.
Minister Tufton says over the 9 years of the Holness administration, they've managed several health crises while maintaining the strategic direction to transform the sector.
Over the last 9 years, we have confronted CHIKV, the tail end of it anyway, started under the previous administration. Then we confronted ZIKV. Then we had 1 year of a dengue outbreak. Then we had the collapse of Cornwall Regional. And the big elephant in the room, of course, was COVID for nearly 3 years. It would have been very easy to focus on trying to solve those problems, which we did, and did a credible job at it, if I dare say so myself, but also by others who have said it, and not focus on the bigger vision of where we want to bring our health infrastructure to. We didn't. This government addressed the crises as they unfolded, while at the same time kept focus on the strategic direction.
Dr. Christopher Tufton, Health and Wellness Minister. Attorney at law Chuck Cameron says the country's Data Protection Act entitles all Jamaicans full access to their medical and other personal records. His comments come amid concerns that citizens are being charged by medical practitioners in order to access health records.
All Jamaican citizens own their personal data. That means when you go to a medical practice and a doctor makes notes in his files about your medical condition, you now own that information about you. Even when there is a doctor's opinion of you, that is considered to be your sensitive personal information. That right, that constitutional right, has been encoded in the Data Protection Act, and the Data Protection Act gives you the right to make a data subject access request. The data controller, in this case the doctor, has 30 days to give you your information that you have requested. Failing to give you that information within 30 days exposes you to criminal sanction.
Mr. Cameron says the only fees that may be required are administrative fees.
If it is you want the doctor to prepare a medical report, you may well have to pay him for his time. However, if it's just a matter of the notes and your file that you want, you may have to cover any administrative costs that may be involved. So if it is you have to make a copy of something and you have to pay $10 or $5 per page, that is what's acceptable. But I even believe the regulation speaks to how much you can charge. I have to check that. So that's on the first issue. I know that runs contrary to what has been the practice, because before the declaration and before the Data Protection Act, common law used to dictate that the doctor owns the notes that he made of it because that represents his intellectual property. That is no more.
Chuck Cameron, attorney at law. Those were the headlines at 6. I'm Shaloy Smikle. Sports is next.
KFC this summer, we are bucking together. All our vibe with your crew, yeah, we are stay true, the taste is so good. KFC, bucky on the ends, be the real one. My island, we are world champion. All we connect with the KFC. Jamrock celebrate with we. KFC, we are bucking together.
Let's buck it together with KFC. Enjoy a Family 9, Family 12, Party 15, or Party 21 bucket, because sharing a bucket with friends tastes finger-licking good. KFC.
Want to reduce your high electricity bills? Then Peak Energy has the solution for you. From grid tied to hybrid solar inverters with full lithium-ion battery pack. Installation and maintenance packages available. Visit us at Shop 1, 3 Mosquito Valley Road, Red Hill, St. Andrew. Call 876-279-8820 or 944-0668. Or email us at peakenergysolutionsja@gmail.com. Peak Energy for everything solar.
Good evening with your sports report. I am Alex Raby. We bowl things off with some cricket as two-time world champions with the West Indies will on Friday embark upon a journey they hope will give them a shot at a third title when they face another former champion Pakistan in the first of 3-game ODI series. The day-night fixture is set to bowl off at 1 p.m. Jamaica time at the Brian Lara Stadium in Trinidad and Tobago. West Indies are currently 10th in the world ranking and must finish in the top 9 at the cut-off stage to gain automatic qualification to the 2027 World Cup to be hosted by Zimbabwe and South Africa. The top 8 outside the host will qualify, but with Zimbabwe well outside the top 8, West Indies realistically need to finish in the top 9. The Caribbean missed out on qualifying for the last 2 ICC 50 over tournaments, the World Cup in 2023 and this year's Champions Trophy. They missed out on both, having failed to come through qualifying tournaments. The Windies have played only 6 ODIs in 2025, 3 games apiece against Ireland and England, with only 1 win to show, and must improve against a Pakistan team ranked 4 places above them. Captain Shea Hope says the mood in the camp is one of confidence as the players are aware of the stakes in this series.
I think it's a very positive mood and vibe amongst the dressing room, especially some of the recent results that we've had, but despite those in different formats, I think the guys are really looking forward to this one, especially the core group of ODI guys who we've had for the last 2 years or so. We've shown that success, especially in our own home conditions. So it's something that we're certainly looking forward to, and tomorrow starts another journey, some history that we can create as well. So a lot to look forward to from a leadership standpoint, and certainly from the guys who have been around for quite some time.
He says they still need to stitch the top order so they can get a strong start in the first 10 overs.
That's the progression that we've been asking for. We looked at where we fell short. We analysed the entire team, seeing ways we can improve. And that's what you want to do as a professional team, an elite team. You got to make sure you keep finding ways to improve. And we identify those areas, and the guys just open arms, take it with open arms. And we just said, okay, we want to improve. We want to make sure we compete with the best in the world, with the likes of Floyd and obviously Abby with the work that we've been doing behind the scenes. We just put it into practice and trusted that process. And over time, the results have been showing a lot more consistently. So it's just important for us to keep learning, keep improving, and one day we get that perfect number 1 spot that we're looking for the ODI team.
Shea Hope. Meanwhile, the West Indies has been forced to make one change to the squad. Academy pacer John Lane comes in to replace Matthew Ford, who dislocated his left shoulder while attempting a catch during Wednesday's training session. Now to track and field, as National 200 meters champion Ashanti Moore continued her recent rich vein of form by logging a new lifetime best in the women's 100 meters at the Serbia Athletics meeting in Belgrade on Thursday. Moore ran 10.94 seconds, becoming the latest Jamaican woman to clock a sub-11 second time in the 100 meters to win the event. The former Hydel High School standout is now the joint 16th fastest Jamaican woman over the 100 meters all time with Shaloni Calvert-Powell and Brianna Williams. Moore's previous personal best is 11.06 seconds set in 2023 and is the 5th fastest Jamaican so far this year. In addition, she is the 26th Jamaican woman to dip under 11 seconds. Moore won the women's 200 meters at the national championships in late June and ran a new lifetime best of and World Championships qualifying time of 22.40 seconds 2 weeks ago in Austria. Crystal Slowly was 4th in the final, running 11.28 seconds. Meanwhile, Danielle Thomas-Dodd won the women's shot put with 19.04 meters. Now to footballers, Jamaica will play Trinidad and Tobago in the semi-finals of the CONCACAF Under-15 tournament after the Trinis defeated Barbados 3-0 on Thursday to top their group in League B. Jamaica had already secured top spot in Group D of League B following a 1-0 win over Curaçao on Wednesday. Harbourview FC's Kelvin Brown was the hero for the young Reggae Boys.
Ball lifted to the far post, bouncing around to the top of the D. Curaçao still on it. Play it back to the corner man. Service right to the PK spot. And watch out for the counterattack. 2 additional minutes here as Jamaica head full of steam off the woodwork and the rebound, and it's good! Jamaica!
Well, Jamaica ended the group stage with a perfect record from 3 games with 7 goals, while they are yet to concede. Friday's semi-final in Aruba is scheduled to kick off at 3 p.m. Jamaica time. Sunshine Snack Jamaica has partnered with the Jamaica Football Federation as an official sponsor of the road to the 2026 World Cup finals. The Reggae Boys face 6 crucial matches in their bid to qualify for the 2026 FIFA Men's World Cup. As part of the sponsorship agreement, Sunshine Snacks will be a major presence on home matches, celebrating the boys with giveaways and in-stadium engagement. Interim General Secretary of the JFF, Roy Simpson, says the Federation proudly welcomes Sunshine Snack as a sponsor.
It's really a serious journey. It is something that we believe we have the responsibility to carry for our people. We understand the importance of this. And, you know, as our tag says, all the way, one team. During this political thing where you have separate teams, we believe everybody's one team, and we want everybody to understand that, and we want everybody to appreciate that whatever we do, it is service to our people, because we believe that football unites the world, bring communities together, give youngsters opportunities, and make people understand that through the culture, football is for the people, all people, our people.
Now, marketing manager at Sunshine Snacks, Chantel Hill-Afanso, shared her excitement.
Sunshine Snacks is definitely elated to be a part of this journey as we support the Jamaica Football Federation on its mantra and the big ask, reaching the World Cup 2026. We believe the boys will have a space, and alongside the boys will be our brand, Sunshine Snacks, because it is our time to shine.
Chantel Hill-Afanso. The president of the Jamaica Football Federation, Michael Ricketts, has confirmed that former England representative Mason Greenwood is now a Jamaican citizen and is eligible for selection for the senior men's national team following months of speculation. The former Manchester United striker could join the Jamaican squad in time for the final leg of World Cup qualifying action.
Yes, sir, I can confirm that he has in his possession his Jamaican passport, and he is now a citizen of Jamaica. All the relevant documents are currently for clearance. Once that is done, it will be all system go. Then it will be up to him and the coach to put the final touches in. But as it is now, yes, he is eligible now to play for Jamaica.
Though the former Manchester United player now plies his trade in French League One for Marseille. Greenwood last played international football back in September 2020. However, his international career stalled following charges of attempted rape and assault, which were later dropped. According to President Ricketts, the Greenwood family is happy with the news, and the 23-year-old attacker is ready and raring to go for the black, green and gold.
Who manages his affairs seem very excited, and they are now raring to go. We are very excited at the prospect because we do believe that he will positively impact on the process of us getting to the World Cup.
Michael Ricketts. The Reggae Boys will be in action on September 5 when they travel to Bermuda to kickstart the final round of qualification for the 2026 FIFA Men's World Cup, set to be hosted in USA, Canada and Mexico. Coach of Fraser's Whip Courtney Dowdy says striker Davia Richards has a major role to play in the team's offense when they take on Cavalier in the final of the Jamaica Women's Premier League at Jamaica College on August 9. Richards now leads the Golden Boot race with 43 goals, 7 clear of second place Chantel Spence of Cavalier. Dowdy is encouraging Richards not to alter her style of play for the final.
All she needs to do is just continue on the same trajectory that she's on. You know, her goal coming into the season was to be leading goal scorer, and so far she's about 7 or 8 goals ahead of the person in second place. So she just needs to continue to do what she's doing. It makes no sense to change how she's playing at the moment with the 1 game left in the season. So she just needs to continue to lead the team as the captain, you know, and continue to work towards her goal.
Courtney Dowdy. Now to horse racing, as two-time champion jockey Shane Canterman Ellis has expressed his elation at being named among the 5 sports personalities who will be honoured at the National Honours and Awards function on Heroes Day in October. Ellis will receive a badge of honour for meritorious service in the sport of horse racing. Ellis, who has ridden over 1,000 winners at Caymanas Park, is also a 7-time winner at the Jamaica Derby. Ellis has done everything in the sport, but he told Nationwide Sports that there is still unfinished business in one particular event, which he thinks will complete the set.
Very, very pleased about achieving this award, and I'm very proud of myself for doing so good over the almost 30 years that I'm into the horse racing sport. Well, the only thing I haven't achieved yet is winning a Mute Mile, and that is my main goal. What I'm trying to work on right now, win a Mute Mile.
Ellis is also the son of former 3-time champion jockey Winston Ellis. For him, both his parents are big inspiration in his career.
Inspiration was from me knowing that, my father was a champion jockey, and I want to be a champion and even win more champion and win more classic than him. But who really inspired me into horse racing is my mother, and my mother was 200% behind me. Even though she's still behind me.
Shane Ellis, former World 100 meters champion Johan Blake, footballer Ricardo Gardner, former West Indies T20 captain Rovman Powell, Nicholas Ford and Dr. Michelle Holt are the other sports personalities who will be recognized. And finally, Olympian Yona Knight Wisdom is inviting Jamaicans to a special lecture at the University of Technology on August 20. Knight Wisdom was the first Jamaican male diver and first Caribbean male diver at an Olympic Games. He competed at the 2016, 2020 and the 2024 Summer Olympics. Knight Wisdom placed second in the 1-meter springboard event at the 2019 Pan American Games.
Which will be an opportunity to hear from me and hear my story in a little bit more depth, and my plans for the future of the diving program in Jamaica and how I think that other minority sports can be supported.
Yona Knight Wisdom. I'm Alric Sribi, and that's your sports.
For all your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612-5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is
6:21.
Truth is, HIV affects everyone. Truth is, avoiding care leads to a weaker immune system. That means you could get really sick. The truth is, the hardest pill to swallow isn't the medication. It's the problems that follow when you don't take them. Let's get through this together. Remain in care. You can live life to the fullest with HIV. And that's the truth. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Short-sightedness, the inability to see well in the distance, is on the rise and is affecting millions of children worldwide, increasing their risk of serious eye conditions later in life. At IQ Optical, we're proud to lead the fight against short-sightedness with revolutionary Maya Smart therapeutic lenses, specifically designed for young eyes. This month only, your child can receive a free second pair of our revolutionary lenses. Help protect your child's vision today. Visit IQ Optical, where clarity never looked sharper.
The following is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
All roads lead to Halfway Tree Square this Sunday, August 10, 4 p.m. for the Jamaica Labour Party mass rally. Main address comes from Prime Minister and Party Leader, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness. Back-to-back JLP River come down mass rally, Halfway Tree Square this Sunday, 4 p.m. We choose Jamaica. See you there.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Please be advised that on Sunday, August 10, the Mayor's Parlour will air at 12 p.m. This will temporarily replace the usual broadcast of Amazing Word at that time.
We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause.
I'm Dennis Brooks.
I'm Marlon Campbell.
I'm Floyd Green.
And I'm Garth Williams. Catch us on the Jamaican Dads podcast right here on Nationwide 90 FM, Thursdays at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m.
The Jamaican Dads podcast is all about providing men with a healthy, safe, and functional forum to tackle many of the taboo topics that concern our masculinity.
Like everyone else out there, we're dads of varying amounts of experience who come from different backgrounds and often view the world differently.
We're definitely not perfect, but we are all brethren and we're all committed to this piece of rock called Jamaica.
Too often, there are no safe spaces for men to explore the issues which are important to us.
Plus, most of the content out there about parenthood is produced by women, for women. So we think it is important that we be the change we want to see.
Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Jamaican Dads with a Z.
And definitely join us here on Nationwide 90 FM every Thursday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m. for the Jamaican Dads podcast. It's a revolution in media.
Public Opinion is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Good evening, and welcome to Public Opinion. I'm Roby Ann Williams. A special good evening to our friends over on our YouTube platform. Thank you so much for tuning in. We invite you to weigh in live in the comments section on today's Public Opinion. Yesterday was Independence Day. Yeah, a holiday, a public holiday. Jamaica's 63rd independence celebrations have wrapped up. Yeah, and last night's Grand Gala was the big finale full of color, culture, and spectacle at the National Stadium. But now it's time to ask you, the people, a valid question. On a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate Grand Gala? Was it a 5-star showcase of Jamaican pride? Or do you think it missed the mark in some areas? For that question, we're going on our Facebook platform. I'll start with the comments there. Bad English is saying, I rate it a 5. It was thoughtfully planned and executed. George Elliott said 10. He broke the scale. The additional 5 being for them wearing fabric outfits compared to paper outfits under the PNP. Okay. Denville Mullings is saying, I really felt proud to be a Jamaican while I watched online. Definitely a 5 for me. Big up Babsy and the entire team and all performers. Jamaica nice again. Audley Nain is saying, excellent production. I was glued to my TV from early. Minister Grange and her team outdid themselves, and she's saying, I'm a proud Jamaican. I'm proud to be Jamaican. I give it a 5. Tony Sharp is saying, definitely a 5. I think it was well organized, and thank God everything went smoothly. Yeah? Lorraine Muir, outstanding production and execution. Minister Grange, Ledford Salmon, entire team, you did well. So Salome Paul is saying, I know Minister Grange and her team would never disappoint. It's a 5 for me. Carlington Bartley says he was glued to his TV. His favorite moment was the tribute to the children we lost to violence. Yes. Philip Kidd is saying 2, and that was because... Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's go again. Arlene Kelly is saying, I was there and it's a solid 5. For those of you who went, I gather the experience was different for those who watched on TV. Lisa Smith is saying, the only problem I have was the missing live band. Yeah, the live band was missing. Don't know why it was omitted this year. Vivian Hanchard is saying 4, best one in a long time. The people looked happy and jubilant. Keisha Clark is saying, I give it a 5. It was indeed well put together. Congratulations, Team Jamaica. O'Neill Dennis, I would give them 5. It is now a world-class event that is showing our rich culture. I say kudos to Babsy and her team for making it a success. All right, on our Instagram platform, Willie Ryan Wilson saying, I give it a 5. The team pulled off a great show.
Robert Gregory Lures also saying 5. Excellent job. 5. Well done coming from Carol McLean. A 3 coming from Roxinda Box. Let me see. Crepello is saying, watch people who don't go Grand Gala rate it. I can bet half who rate it don't understand half the storyline that was presented. Every year Grand Gala likes to not just focus on our history, but focuses on the happenings of what's taking place. Based off those, they tell a story. Port Royal was added to the UNESCO list and they told its story. The bus was mentioned because it's part of the measures or focus to protect our children. The police force spoke to the decrease in crime rate and what's being done. It was well put together, 4.5 out of 5. Andre O'Brien is saying, watch the labor rights them in the comments. I give 5 out of 5. Ask Babsy for the rest of the Grand Gala. Okay. He's saying the money spent that cannot be it. Okay. Claire Skin saying it could have been much better. No bandanas, nothing. Really Jamaican was involved. Just police and thieves. Wow. Why police a big part of our culture? Them take up most of the performance and the school bus. How is that Jamaican? KMT. Nathaniel saying 4. Porta Poor is saying, I would say 5. Babsy did well. The question stated 1.5 and persons responding 7, 8, and 9. We the people, we Jamaicans, ever extra. Claire Chandelier is saying, I've seen better production, but nevertheless, was a 7. Okay. Me never go, so what I see, I would give it a 5, says Anika Morgan. I never go, but you they rate it. All right, big up you. On our YouTube platform, Petal saying 5 out of 5. Abraham Thomas say it was Babsy's send-off. Shirley Augustine, it was a wonderful production. It was wonderful, the best of the best. So I say 5 out of 5. Josephine coming on the defense, saying the school bus is a big part of Jamaica. Herman saying 5. Steve McKellar, 5 out of 5. Let me see if I can get some more. Strong Link says 5. Babsy the Star. Let me see it. Petal, 5 out of 5. 100% says David Nabar. Antoinette Tullo saying 5. Excellent. Somebody's asking how much I give it. So I am one of those who did not attend physically, but I showed up online watching and, being a very, very proud Jamaica. For me, the live performances, the children being involved, the drama, the theater, the singing, that was and has always been it for me. I love seeing on display the theater, the arts. And I'm very artsy in that sense. I could say that drama is my life. I live for drama. So for me, all of that on display, the reenactment of the Port Royal scene, everything, for me, it was amazing. I liked it. What I saw on screen looked real good. The production was good. There were some, I would say, technical issues that I picked up on, to say the very least, but it was amazing. Also, when Beres Hammond was singing his song, Now Look at Me, and everybody in the stadium, I would assume, was singing. That part for me was amazing. He is indeed legendary. It was a great, show. It was definitely a great show, and I'm seeing a lot of good reviews. A lot of good reviews from our YouTubers, and I'm also seeing good reviews on Instagram, on Facebook. It was really a spectacular show, as Marigold is saying. Thank you guys so much for participating in Public Opinion. You know what? We'll do it next year again. 64 years. Yeah.
Public Opinion was brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Drive the most exciting new vehicles in Jamaica. Schedule your 2024 Ford Ranger pickup or Ford Everest 7-seater SUV test drive now. Call or visit KIG today.
The time by KIG is
6:33.
Visit Marshall's Pharmacy, Greater Portmore, for all your prescription needs, gifts, personal care, household, and stationery items. The temperature by Marshall's Pharmacy, Greater Portmore is
29 degrees Celsius in Kingston and Montego Bay. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Nationwide's Business Report. I'm Robianne Williams. U.S. President Donald Trump's sweeping new tariffs on more than 90 countries around the world have come into effect. Moments before his deadline passed for countries to negotiate U.S. trade deals, Trump posted on his Truth Social platform that billions of dollars were now flowing into his country as a result of his import taxes. Trump is using tariffs to encourage jobs and manufacturing industries to return to America, among other political goals. Separately on Wednesday, he threatened to raise the tariff on imports from India to 50% unless that country stopped buying Russian oil. He also threatened a 100% tariff on foreign-made computer chips to push tech firms to invest more in the U.S. The Bank of England has cut its interest rates from 4.25% to 4%. The bank's fifth cut since last August passed on a knife edge and takes the cost of borrowing to its lowest level for more than 2 years. Governor Andrew Bailey told the BBC that he expects rates to continue moving downwards, but the course is a bit more uncertain. Chancellor Rachel Reeves says the government is putting more money in people's pockets, but the Conservatives say rates should be falling faster. Lower interest rates from the bank can reduce mortgage costs for some homeowners, but can also lead to a smaller return for savers. And finally, in the currency markets at the close of trading today, it cost 161 Jamaican dollars and 24 cents to buy $1 US, 214 Jamaican dollars and 81 cents to buy $1 British pound, and 116 Jamaican dollars and 65 cents to buy the Canadian dollar. That's the Business Report. I'm Robianne Williams. Good evening.
Now, PrEP makes it so easy. One pill before you link, prevent HIV.
PrEP makes it so easy. One pill before you link, prevent HIV.
You wanna do your thing with your queen or your king?
Or I get a little frisky that make you flex risky.
PrEP, I extra bucketed.
To help you stay HIV negative.
PrEP makes it so easy. One pill before you link, prevent HIV.
PrEP tablets available at your clinic from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Still sweating with that old fan? It's time to upgrade! Meet Glacier, the AC unit that thinks for you. Energy efficient to slash your power bill. Wi-Fi enabled so you can control it from your phone. And self-cleaning because you've got better things to do. Powerful, smart, hassle-free. Call now at 876-923-6521-3. Gaddy's Refrigeration Limited, delivering the perfect cooling solution tailored to your needs.
Spring into style with Unique Living. Upgrade your home with our extensive range of products. Get sleek shower panels, stylish vanities, LED and non-LED mirrors, plus kitchen sinks, closet solutions, ceiling fans, and more. Available in various finishes and sizes. Visit shop number 6, 30 Dunrobin Avenue, Kingston 10. Call 876-755-3661 or visit our website at www.uniquelivingja.com. Don't wait to spring into style with Unique Living.
Paying bills just got easier. With Evolve Bill Pay, the new bill payment service by Supreme Ventures, you can settle your light, water, telephone, and internet bills at over 180 Supreme Ventures locations island-wide, right where you live and shop. Pay, play, and go with Evolve Bill Pay. Evolve Bill Pay. Fast, easy, right round the corner.
If it's in the public's interest, it's the nation's business during Nationwide at 5. The nation's business.
As a parent, you give
give your children a good start in life. You nurture, protect, and guide them. Parenting is a process that prepares your child for independence. As your child grows and develops, there are many things you can do to help your child. Stay tuned to The Big Show, nationwide this morning, for parenting tips. Fridays at 6:53 a.m. Only here will you learn everything you need to know about parenting. Tips to help parents navigate the incredibly challenging and rewarding journey of child rearing. Parenting tips on Nationwide at 90 FM, the revolution in media.
I'm Dennis Brooks.
I'm Alan Campbell.
I'm Floyd Green.
And I'm Garth Williams. Catch us on the Jamaican Dads podcast right here on Nationwide 90 FM, Thursdays at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m.
The Jamaican Dads podcast is all about providing men with a healthy, safe, and functional forum to tackle many of the taboo topics that concern our masculinity.
Like everyone else out there, we're dads of varying amounts of experience who come from different backgrounds and often view the world differently.
We're definitely not perfect, but we're all brethren and we're all committed to this piece of rock called Jamaica.
Too often, there are no safe spaces for men to explore the issues which are important to us.
Plus, most of the content out there about parenthood is produced by women, for women. So we think it is important that we be the change we want to see.
Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Jamaican Dads with a Z.
And definitely join us here on Nationwide 90 FM every Thursday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m. for the Jamaican Dads podcast. It's a revolution in media.
The following is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
All roads lead to Halfway Tree Square this Sunday, August 10, 4 p.m. for the Jamaica Labour Party mass rally. Main address comes from Prime Minister and Party Leader, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness. Back-to-back JLP River come down mass rally, Halfway Tree Square this Sunday, 4 p.m. We choose Jamaica. See you there.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Please be advised that on Sunday, August 10, the Mayor's Parlour will air at 12 p.m. This will temporarily replace the usual broadcast of Amazing Word at that time. We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on Nationwide at 5. It's time for The Nation's Business. I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
And let me start by asking you, Siobhan, do you think Jamaicans put a lot of store on political manifestos?
I think we journalists put more stock in it than the actual people who actually sit in the ballot box.
And I'm asking you, YouTubers, the last two manifestos released by the two major political parties in 2020. Let me ask anybody in the chat, did any of you read the manifesto cover to cover or any one particular sections? You know, they usually split them in sections. Did you read any of it at all? I'd be interested to know. Because I've been wondering, do people actually care any more about political manifestos?
I think it's more the headline promises that stick out to individuals than the actual sitting down and reading the full page document of a manifesto.
Yeah. Janice says, I don't care about manifesto. Why, Janice? Tell me why. Why don't you care about it? All right, so let's start. We're going to, listeners, over the next couple of weeks, we're going to go through some of the promises made by the JLP in 2020 when they campaigned for a second term and assess where those promises are. We'll also be assessing the PNP promises. As you recall, the PNP has been busy making a slew of promises in the lead up to this election. So we're going to assess those. I think we'll take the PNP tomorrow. We'll start with some of the headline issues and we'll see where we are. Damien Cawley says the manifestos are important. M. Moran says, no, I didn't read one word. We depend on you to read it for us. Hermine says, I read it. Hayworth Martin says, I haven't seen any of them physically. Brian Thomas says, no, we don't, as we know they won't be fulfilled. Those are the promises in the manifesto. Jenny says the manifestos are done last minute, and most times what is written in it is not necessarily done. Dreview says, we care about actions, Ricardo. All right. So, okay, Dwight Bonner is being uncharitable. Dwight says the dunce doesn't care about manifestos. All right, so let's start, Siobhan. What's the first item?
Well, I mean, it starts with finance and the economy, so I suppose that's where we'll start. And I suppose this one, maintain fiscal policy that promotes economic independence, economic opportunity for all, and that protects the vulnerable. And under that, they say we promote an efficient tax system, prioritize capital expenditure, and prioritize the protection of the vulnerable. I think it would be fair to assess that the GLP has kept that promise to, so to speak. I mean, the biggest expansion of our social welfare programs has been on the GLP over the last 4 or 5 years.
And let's read what they said under promote an efficient tax system. We will continue to streamline and reduce taxation where the opportunities exist, while introducing tax credits that promote education savings, investments in research and development by businesses, and investment in e-commerce enabling technology. In addition, we will simplify the statutory deductions by providing for a single consolidated Social Security deduction that covers the disparate NIS, NHT, HART, and education tax deductions today. So the first part of that, which is to reduce taxation, I think as a general matter, yes.
Yes, we can give the nod for
you
that
can
one.
say yes, the government has kept that promise. I mean, obviously there are some who might have wanted it to go further, but yes, they have. Introducing tax credits that promote education savings. Now, the government has never said what you should use your tax credit for, but they have given you tax credits.
That is true.
Or as they call it, givebacks.
So did you say the tenor, if not the letter, has been followed?
I would say so. I think that's the second part, though, investment in research and development by businesses, the tax credits to do that, and investment in e-commerce enabling technology.
I believe they had rolled out I don't know if it was a tax incentive or a grant for businesses to invest in e-commerce technologies. So I would say that has been done.
Right. All right.
But although there was a credit, I think it was a grant, though, not a credit or a loan.
All right, fine. And in addition, we will simplify statutory deductions by providing for a single consolidated Social Security deduction that covers NIS, NHT, HART, and education tax deductions. I believe the former finance minister,
but it's not been done, so I don't know if we can give that one.
No, well, you see, okay, if it's in train, I'm prepared to accept it because I don't know that any one thing, if it's not done in one term, it means it's automatically a no. Because something like that is obviously far-reaching and would take a little time to implement. So I'm prepared to give a half.
But I mean, when we say we're talking about deliverables, so right, you've put this down as your deliverable
right,
for
but if
your
I see,
second term.
Yeah, man, if I see progress in delivering, I'm prepared to grant it. That's me. You don't have to agree with me, but that's me. Because, I mean, you know how the bureaucracy is.
Yes.
And you know how the system works, and the studying of an issue, and then the consultation on an issue, and then the drafting of an issue, and then the changing of a law. Yeah. So I'm prepared to give a half mark for that.
I will go with a half mark as well, because I know the groundwork is being laid.
Right.
The report, the green paper on it has been provided to the government. So we can suggest that it's being worked on.
Prioritize capital expenditure in infrastructure, technology investment, transportation, education, health and security as critical means of improving the delivery of public services. Absolutely.
Yes.
100%.
I believe we've had the largest expansion of the capital budget over the last 4 or 5 years. Over the last 10
certainly
years.
In health,
yes.
Certainly in security. Infrastructure spending has been significant. Transportation also, yes. Yeah, so I'd say yes, 100% yes. Prioritize the protection of the vulnerable. We will increase allocations on a relative basis to social welfare programs to support the expansion of PATH and the introduction of social pension, among other programs, and will support the comprehensive reform of social security. I don't know about comprehensive reform of social security, but certainly PATH has been expanded in terms of the allocation.
Well, one can quibble about the definition of comprehensive, but interesting enough, looking back, I did not realize that the social pension program was a manifesto promise. I did not remember this, and yes, this was rolled out, listeners. The social pension was a manifesto promise, this was rolled out, so kudos to the government for doing that.
Yes. Maintain macroeconomic stability and build a supporting institutional framework. We will build and strengthen the institutions that safeguard the sustainability of government finances, low and stable inflation, foreign exchange reserve adequacy, and financial sector stability. Furthermore, we will improve Jamaica's resilience to the financial costs of natural disaster. Yes. 100% yes. We will make the central bank operationally independent. I don't even have to read the verbiage there. Yes. We will establish a fiscal... Yes. Let me finish reading it now. We will establish a fiscal council. Yes, the government has done that. We will improve Jamaica's fiscal vulnerability to natural disaster. Yes, the government has done that. Provide economic support for recovery. We will allocate $500 million in grants for micro and community-based businesses through the Social Development Commission.
I can't say whether this one has been done or not.
You could say
has been expanded in terms of many grants and loans over the last 4 years. Right. But I could not give you the quantum of that total.
500. We will deploy $1.2 billion in tourism grants to small and medium-sized operators in the tourism sector through the Exim Bank.
Again, difficult. I know the Exim Bank as well as the DBJ has done quite a bit, but the quantum would be beyond me.
We will allocate $3 billion in an agri-care support package for farmers and fisherfolk over 3 years. Farmers and fisherfolk will be supported with a number of essential items, including equipment and machinery, in addition to infrastructure such as greenhouses, fishing equipment, and gears, as well as refrigerated containers for storage.
So I can say this was done, but it was not done under the name Agri-Care Support Package.
So I think and this is no surprise, on finance and the economy, the government gets...
high marks.
Yeah, more than a passing grade. More than a passing grade. In fact, I'm prepared to say an A. When I look through all the promises, poverty has continued to fall, interest rates of, absolutely. Yes, you were saying.
There are some items here, though, that I would wonder increase bank account penetration. While they did... I think they did deliver on this promise. We will pursue low-tiered know your customer bank accounts to increase the number of Jamaicans who have access to functional bank accounts. I know they had implemented it. To what level this has improved the banking penetration, I don't know. So I will say they did deliver on the promise, but to the extent that the promise has been impactful, I can't say. We'll enhance consumer protection and financial services. I think we have to say that they're working on this one. I don't know if this one has been delivered.
And I'm thinking to myself, I told you how I look at it. If I think it's in progress and I can clearly identify that it's in progress, I'm prepared to give marks for it. But how do the Jamaican people view that? So if you promised it, you've initiated, but it hasn't come to fruition, final delivery, how will the voters view that? As I say, I think it should be a mark in the column. But how do you think voters will view that?
That's a good question. As I said, but do we actually say that voters look through these manifestos and say, well, this has been achieved and this has not been achieved? Looking back through this document now, I would say that on the matter of finance, as you said, the government has more or less accomplished many of these promises as they suggested. This one even more so. We will create a special designation of priority investments that will allow for expedited decisions and other government processes for projects designated as strategic priority. The designation will be based on a predefined weighted criteria. So I can say this was done because we do have the what we call it, the National Development criteria or the national priority or something to that effect. And that has been used for, I believe, the highway in Montego Bay, as well as the Southern Coast Highway Improvement Project as well.
Justice. Stronger delivery of equal rights and justice. The creation of a human rights commission was promised. It says we remain committed to the intention expressed in our 2016 manifesto regarding the creation of a human rights commission which replaces and expands the role of the Office of the Public Defender and promotes the protection of the human rights of all Jamaicans. Promise not kept.
No.
But I have to tell you, I've been trying to grapple with this promise, for a little while now. This business of a human rights commission. And I appreciate the importance of safeguarding human rights, but it seems like a nice to have for me, and not a must have.
But
and I would want the
requirement under or ratification of a UN treaty. Wasn't this a requirement?
It doesn't say here. I know elements of the of civil society have been pushing for it, but I'm not clear why it would be necessary as opposed to just expanding the powers of the public defender. And perhaps, I don't know, somebody who knows can call in and talk a little bit about it as to why a commission is better than the public defender and giving that office the necessary powers. Yeah. Expansion of dispute
yes. Jamaica's Human Rights Commission is to be established in line with the Paris Principles. Yes. So this is not just and I would say that this promise, it actually predates the JLP government. They put it in their manifesto, but it was something that was required of us as a ratification of a UN treaty.
And that was when?
That would have been, or ratification, it doesn't give the date specifically, but it is part of a UN ratification of the Paris Accords.
All right. Expansion of the alternative dispute resolution, they certainly have done that.
Yes. They pushed that, especially in
fact, I recall somebody saying to me, if that's all the Justice Ministry now does, dispute resolution. Construction, renovation, and retrofitting of courts and additional justice centers, yes, that has been done. That definitely has been done. The upgrade of court infrastructure, I think that's a
work in train, and so to speak.
In progress,
but in terms of upgrade court infrastructure, one would have to agree that to say it has been done. It is work in progress because obviously infrastructure can always be improved, but it has been done.
Which reminds me, the court at the Morant Bay, the Morant Bay Urban Center, is very impressive. Very, very impressive. In fact, it looked better than the Supreme Court. It looks better than the Home Circuit Court in Kingston. It does.
But that's how infrastructure works. It does. It's always improved, and what came before it will always pale in comparison.
No. Modernize the justice system will support initiatives that bring the justice system into the 21st century to include continuing to pass laws and modernize fines. Yes, certainly.
Dogwood's liability bill was passed. Yes.
Yeah, and
criminal records. Yes, the Criminal Records Rehabilitation of Offenders Amendment Act. Yes, that was done. The Foreign Documents Bill to simplify and reduce the expense of authenticating foreign documents. I don't think this one was done to the best of my knowledge. But so many pieces of legislation were passed over the last 5 years. This one could have missed me, but to my knowledge, that one has not been done.
That's the Foreign Documents Bill.
Yes. Strengthening of the child diversion framework. This was done. Kudos to the Parliament for that. Investment in technology to enhance efficiency of the justice system. We could argue that has been done to an extent, to the level that the court has embraced it. Work in progress. The question.
Work in progress.
Promote restorative justice. I think we can say with absolute certainty that has been done.
Definitely. I'm trying to find the digital copy of the 256 achievements, but for some reason I'm not finding it online. And I was hoping to use it as a benchmark, but I'm not finding it online. But again, listeners, we're gonna go through them. We were supposed to have some guests to go help us go through some of them. But we're gonna do this because we think it's important, because the political parties spend time printing these manifestos, nice, glossy. They have a launch, and for what? Because if people are not going to read them, why are we doing it? Yeah.
But to the best of my understanding, so far we've covered the economy, finance, and justice, and these aspects
have been
seemingly
done.
they have stuck to the principles of the document.
Most have been delivered, and again, you see, and that's why I think that achievements document created quite such a stir, to the point that the only thing people could find wrong with it was there was a typo and they spelled Jamaica wrong. And, kind of look away, see, I tell people choose Jamaica, spell Jamaica wrong. But if you get beyond that, it is really hard to criticize the substance of the document. I read it twice, cover to cover, twice. Because I was looking to see, okay, what did they embellish, or, it's flowery or just fluff. And it really is hard to find things that just fluff. They really did take the time clearly to think through what were the major issues that affect Jamaicans and their daily lives.
I mean, in fact, it could be argued that they missed many important issues that should have been in the document.
And Kamina Johnson-Smith did say that was part of the challenge they had, deciding what should get into the final document. But I think on the whole, they have. They have delivered a high quality document and a list of achievements.
But this does raise a question, though, in terms of how does one now assess the manifesto promises of a party in opposition?
Well, I don't intend to assess the 2020 manifesto of the PNP. Obviously, they were not in office. I don't think that would be fair. But I think we can assess the feasibility of what they are promising now. And I gather that some of it is coming from 2020. Certainly, I've heard Damon Crawford repeating things I heard him say in 2020. So I think on the perspective of costing of some of these things, practicability, is it practical? Can you implement something like this? And will it just make common sense? Will it make common sense? I think we can do that. And Mr. Golding, as I said in his budget presentation, you remember the quibbling we had about whether he needed to produce the costing right up front, did do a lot of that promising. And I gather from what I've seen that presentation was sort of a platform from which they will pluck some of the ideas for their manifesto. So yeah, I think we can. We absolutely can, and we should.
But it's going to require a critical assessment, because I don't think we could.
No. And it's exactly why I am proposing that we invite sector experts to look at the promises specifically. Yeah, so we will do that, because I know the Labour them message me say, "Oh, you just had to do the GLP, one to the PNP." We will look at that.
But as I brought up, it requires a certain finesse that you can't simply apply as you would to the GLP manifesto being
right,
party
because it's
power.
easier, right? It's easier to just recall whether the GLP did or
they've
didn't.
been given the opportunity to fulfill those promises. Yeah. The PNP has not been given that opportunity.
Yeah. But I think on the whole, the achievements document is a strong start, and obviously on these two issues, the economy and certainly justice, I would say they met the grade.
Yes.
They met the grade. Certainly from what they have in the 2020 manifesto. Let's hope we get the 2025 manifestos early. They have a habit of dropping them like 1 week before the date.
I believe the last time we got the manifesto, it was just a few days before the election, about a week or so before the election.
And that might suggest that they don't think people are reading them. It's 7:01. We're going to take a break. And after the break, we're going to introduce you to, or reintroduce you, because I know some of you saw it this morning, because you've been messaging me about it. Revo AI, yeah?
Truth is, you can live life to the fullest with HIV. This time signal is brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. The time is...
It's 7:02.
It's Monday. Get over your blues. Or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The E-Zone is here for you. With this thing of Honey Bee.
And Karim Boyatings
From 3 to 5 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM.
We've got your entertainment news.
Then we want to hear your views. What you said.
Jump in the mix.
Or the hot seat.
Don't miss our brain busters.
Or the crazy giveaways.
Let's talk fashion.
Send us your outfit of the day. Ooh, cutesy. Very demure.
Are you looking for love?
Come come on one of our blind dates. Send your request to ezoneblindates@gmail.com. That's ezoneblindates@gmail.com.
And stay tuned for your confessions.
These are my confessions.
Share them with us at ezoneconfessions@yahoo.com. I mean, is this planet Earth?
Is it?
I don't know. Let me check. Either way, it's got a buzz.
And a bugger thing.
Ow! Ow!
The following is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
All roads lead to Halfway Tree Square this Sunday, August 10, 4 p.m. for the Jamaica Labour Party mass rally. Main address comes from Prime Minister and Party Leader, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness. Back-to-back JLP River come down mass rally, Halfway Tree Square this Sunday, 4 p.m. We choose Jamaica. See you there.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Please be advised that on Sunday, August 10, the Mayor's Parlor will air at 12 p.m. This will temporarily replace the usual broadcast of Amazing Word at that time. We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause.
I'm Dennis Brooks.
I'm Alan Campbell.
I'm Floyd Green.
And I'm Garth Williams. Catch us on the Jamaican Dads podcast right here on Nationwide 90 FM, Thursdays at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m.
The Jamaican Dads podcast is all about providing men with a healthy, safe, and functional forum to tackle many of the taboo topics that concern our masculinity.
Like everyone else out there, we're dads of varying amounts of experience who come from different backgrounds and often view the world differently.
We're definitely not perfect, but we're all brethren and we're all committed to this piece of rock called Jamaica.
Too often, there are no safe spaces for men to explore the issues which are important to us.
Plus, most of the content out there about parenthood is produced by women, for women. So we think it is important that we be the change we want to see.
Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Jamaican Dads with a Z.
And definitely join us here on Nationwide 90 FM every Thursday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m. for the Jamaican Dads podcast. It's a revolution in media.
As we grow older, there are many challenges that we have to confront, but these years can represent the best in our lives. Coming of Age during Nationwide This Morning on Thursdays explores issues persons 50 and over confront. It also provides expert opinions on how we can improve the quality of our lives as we get older. That's Coming of Age, this and every Thursday during Nationwide This Morning at 6:51 a.m.
Do you have a consumer-related issue? Want to learn more about matters concerning you as a consumer? Well, keep it locked to Nationwide 90 FM for the Consumer Hour with me, Nora Gay Banton. Weekdays from 9 to 10 a.m. For all your consumer-centric matters, stay tuned to the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Hi there. Here's some good news for these trying times. Quote, "By God's word, I can see where I'm going. They throw a beam of light on my dark path." Unquote. Psalm 119, verse 105. Listen for God's word weekdays at 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. through
Oasis. Stop by for a refreshing drink and share a God perspective for the day.
Oasis. Weekdays 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. right here on Nationwide, a revolution in media.
The rebroadcast of the Oasis can be heard weekdays at 5:45 a.m.
It's 7 minutes after 7. My name is Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
You're tuned in to Nationwide at 5. And I know you've heard the saying, the revolution will be televised. But I dare say the revolution just might be AI. That might be it, yeah? And Dushyant Savadia, the CEO and founder of the Amber Group, is here to re-demonstrate, because he did it this morning, and I know a lot of you had a whole heap of questions. I'm worried. And I said, boy, Ricardo, that look cool, but it work. He's going to do it all over again, yeah? So that you can actually see Revo AI in operation. Deshant, good evening.
Very good evening, Ricardo. Hi.
How are you?
Super. Excited to be here again.
All right, so let me start by asking, what is Revo AI?
So, of course, as Nationwide, what we wanted to do is look at how do we revolutionize news again. The world has changed very fast in the last 1 year.
Yes.
AI is now the frontier of every technology. It's becoming an integral part of everything. This morning, ChatGPT launched ChatGPT 5. Which I believe they say now it is so superior as much as the PhD degree holders research that it can do and give responses to questions. So while the world is racing into the AI world so fast, and we have to lean on this technology for faster distribution in media too. I don't think media can be left behind. There is a lot of value in how fast we can now distribute content, how fast we can absorb content as users. Remember, in a news site, there are hundreds and thousands of stories.
Yes.
There are stories that we have spoken about years ago, which is still relevant today, which is connected to something that is happening now. But who is doing that research for you? How is it that we bring that comprehensiveness of the story that is current, relating to the past, and put the whole context together for somebody who is listening it for the first time or looking at this news at this point of time. So what we did over time, and this is Nationwide's new digital birth as Revo AI, where we have built a brand new website, a lot more cleaner, a lot more easier to access news. I'll show it to you now in a second. But more importantly, our plan was, how do we actually take content which is built by humans, produced by humans, and we distribute it wisely and easily to everybody, and also see the consumption has changed a lot. There was a time we used to read pages and pages of newspaper. With this speed of life that we have no time. But I still want to consume news. I have time when I'm driving, but I can't read because I'm driving. So now imagine a conversational AI which actually reads you all the latest news, breaking stories. You can ask as a conversation, give me all the breaking news of the day, or do this or do that, or give me the story about it. It just comprehensively brings everything to you. Even people who are less abled, for them, those who can't see, those who might not be able to read yet. Can you imagine putting news, information, and knowledge in the hands of everybody with the use of AI?
All right. So my callers usually start at about 7:30, and they'll say to me, Ricardo, the app that you have now is simple. Why we need one fancy new something, Revo AI? What are some of the benefits to our listeners and our viewers that you think will come from this website?
I think one is how you read news. How do you access news? How much information is available to you, which is summarized comprehensively without you trying to read 10 pages to understand one subject. The AI now can save you time. AI now will move things a lot faster for you, and you have more to consume in less time. That is one of the greatest aspects. But more importantly, look, having a good UX where you go to a site, you feel nice to stay there. You want to be there longer. So with Revo AI, what we've done, I'm happy to actually walk you through.
And just before you do that, for our listeners, UX means user experience.
User experience.
All
See,
right.
If you look at most of the news website, it has so much of content,
Yes.
so much of information.
Yeah.
You get lost.
True.
You don't know how to find what you want to find. So what we've done with Revo, we built with so much of user interface being kept in the mind, that how do we make it very easy, seamless for you to navigate? But even the AI can navigate the news page for you. You can ask for a specific news, it will take you to that page.
All right, let's see it. So listeners, if you're listening on radio, Nationwide Live 2 is the YouTube channel. You can go over there to see visuals. So I have visual of Revo powered by Nationwide. All right.
So the website will be revonews.ai. We are launching it on the 21st of August. This is just a preliminary view. So if you go to revonews.ai, you will be blocked because it's sitting behind a VPN at the moment. But if you look at what we've done first is your picks. For example, you can choose your interest. What categories that you like for the stories to be populated for you.
So, all right, hold on. So for me, politics is what I go to first.
Correct.
So you're saying once I log on, my top picks for me will be all the political stories Nationwide have
First,
published.
it will populate the stories that is of your interest first.
So how does it know my interest?
So when you register, it will ask you, what are your interests? Is it politics? Is it technology? Is it current affairs? Is it business? And based on the topics you search, it will curate those stories for you on the top as your top picks.
But that's not all I will see.
No. That's the first thing that you will see because that's your priority news that you want.
Okay.
Outside of that, if you scroll down, if you look at the cleanliness of the website, if you look at any other news website, it's clustered. It's so many ads all over the place. You hardly can track the news that you want to. And we made it in a way that you can actually see it easily. You have all your trending news. You've got your news and current affairs. If you want to go more, you click more. If you want to go to the whole category page, you can click on more. Breaking news, sports, business, very clean, beautiful website. So that's the first part of it. Second part of it, what we've also done, Ricardo, we also built a whole chat room now. See, it's old school to go put a comment and then somebody else puts a comment. There is no social engagement for people to share their views and engage with each other also. So what we built, as soon as the story is published, that story also creates a chat room straight away. And people can now go and chat with each other. You can have engagement, you can have discussions, you can have a long conversation with each other as users.
In real time.
In real time.
So JLP Central Executive summoned to meeting on Saturday. That's a story. Siobhan jumps on and says, why is the JLP meeting on Saturday? And I jump on and say, because they're having a mass meeting on Sunday, obviously. And you're saying that we can have a back and forth.
Correct. Now multiply that by thousands of users that are giving opinion, are expressing their opinion, and people are counter-expressing their opinion.
And that's on each story?
Each story. Every single story that you can see here, every single story automatically creates a chat room that you can now go and chat. Instead of traditional drop the comment, forget about it.
Yeah. Before I allow Siobhan to pose his questions, my concern here, Dushyant, is I go and Siobhan has written a story. He's our parliamentary reporter. And he writes a story about one of the parliamentarians and I don't like it. And I go in the chat and I say, the boy Siobhan, me not like him, he's a terrible journalist. How do we prevent people like poor Siobhan from being abused in the chat?
Well, look, are you able to stop on Instagram? No. Are you able to stop on Facebook? No. Are you able to stop on YouTube? No. The answer is people should be allowed to express what they feel. The only point that we intervene and we stop is when you use abusive words or you use things that are absolutely antisocial slangs and stuff like that. So there is a filter in place, so it will automatically block any specific words that are harmful. But other than that, opinions are opinions. Look, everybody have an opinion. And humanity is also about the expression of opinions with its freedom. So that's the chat room. Apart from that, you will also see on the top, we've brought news, radio and live TV together in the same place. You don't need to jump into YouTube and do all of those things. And apart from that, the most amazing part for me is the Ask Revo AI. We actually cloned Cliff's voice with his permission and he has authenticated his voice on the bot. So it's not an illegal way to do things. There is a legal way to use AI that we've used. And we also built the bot in Patois. It can understand and speak 26 different dialects of Patois in Jamaica. And we want to give you a demonstration of both.
All right.
You can ask any questions, but I'll show you how it even navigates the news pages by itself. The AI is moving so fast with time. It just makes and see what we've also done. We have decades of records with NNN about the history of Jamaica. So we've inserted so much of content into the bot. You can literally ask any question about any business, anything across Jamaica, and it might have the answer. If not, it'll come back saying, I'm still training. I've recorded the question, and it will ask us the answer to be fed inside and train the bot over time.
And I think that is where one of the first questions come up in terms of the depth of that knowledge that the artificial intelligence has access to. I think a lot of YouTubers, well, a lot of users, when it goes live, will want to say, for example, the general elections are coming up. They'd like some historical facts about certain constituencies, certain candidates. Will the AI be able to do that?
Yes, it will be able to do that. See, what we've done is it can only speak from the data that is fed to it. So, of course, data training or AI training is a long process. We've been doing this for the last 1 year. That's how the AI is so well trained. If you go back to the Morning Cliff show live at 11 into the YouTube, you will see Cliff ask some very difficult questions to the AI. It still gave beautiful answers, including when is the next general election of Jamaica. We don't have the dates, but it did comprehensively answer that constitutionally it has to be by this time, etc., etc. So it knows how to answer. It is built with a lot of guardrails. What is fearful about AI also is if it's not built correctly, if it is not given proper guardrails, it can hallucinate and it can become toxic. So we've done a lot of work around training the AI to contain it within the context that it has to stay. So even if you say, you're stupid, you're dumb, it will return back, I'm sorry you feel this way, but I'm here to help you with news. So it's trained not to answer back in the same way, but it's trained to actually remain within the context of the news. So let's use the Revo AI, and ladies and gentlemen, this is the first ever AI bot ever built in the news in the whole of the Caribbean, or I've not seen much across the world yet. We're very proud as Jamaica to actually go into the AI phase, not just talking about it, but actually living it as an example. So I'm going to start a conversation.
Hi, I'm Cliff, your voice news companion. I can read top stories based on your interests, fetch news from any category, or summarize an article you're viewing. Want updates from your favorite author too? Just ask.
Cliff, can you give me the 2 top breaking news of today, please?
Here are the 2 top breaking news stories for today. So first up, the U.S. State Department is rolling out a new visa bond pilot program, which could require some foreign nationals, possibly including Jamaicans, to pay a refundable bond of up to $15,000.
Cliff, can you take me to the business category page, please?
All right, taking you over to the business category page now.
Cliff, can you tell me something about the BP makes its largest oil gas discovery?
That's an important topic. Let me look into the latest details about BP's largest oil and gas discovery for you right now. So, BP has just made its largest oil and gas discovery in 25 years. And it happened off the coast of Brazil.
Cliff, can you take me to this story, please?
Right. Let me open up the story about BP's largest oil and gas discovery for you now. Here's a summary of the BP discovery story. BP has announced its biggest oil and gas find in a quarter century located in Brazil.
Cliff, can you take me to live TV, please?
All right, heading over to the live TV page for you now.
Gentlemen, I'll let you ask some questions.
All right. Cliff, tell me about the 1989 general election in Jamaica.
You'd ask.
Cliff, tell me about the 1989 general election in Jamaica.
It's too far.
That's a great historical topic. Let me dig into the more. No problem. I know what you mean. It's a bit far back in history. If you'd like, I can check for more recent election news or updates about Jamaica's political landscape. Is there a particular year or event you're interested in instead?
Yes. So, tell me about the 1989 general election.
That's an important moment in Jamaica's history. Let me dig into the most up-to-date details about the 1989 general election for you. Here's what I found. The 1989 general election in Jamaica was held on February 9th, and it resulted in a landslide victory for the People's National Party. They won 45 out of 60 seats in Parliament, marking a major shift in the country's political direction at the time. If you want more details about the campaign or the leaders involved, just let me know.
All right, let me ask you another question, Cliff. Who is Portia Simpson Miller?
Let's see what's being said about Portia Simpson Miller today. Just a moment while I check the latest details for you. Portia Simpson Miller is a Jamaican politician who made history as the country's first female prime minister. She served 2 terms, from 2006 to 2007, and again from 2012 to 2016. She also led the People's National Party and played a major role in shaping Jamaica's political landscape. If you'd like to know more about her achievements or background, just let me know.
You know, I know the YouTubers want me to ask a particular question, but I won't ask it the way you want me to ask it, YouTubers. I'll ask it this way. Cliff, tell me about what the polls are saying about the 2025 general election in Jamaica.
That's a hot topic. Let me dig into the most up-to-date polling details about the 2025 general election in Jamaica for you. So polling details for the 2025 general election in Jamaica are being discussed quite a bit, but I'm not seeing any official numbers or clear poll results just yet. There's a lot of talk about which party, JLP or PNP, might be leading, but nothing concrete has been published in the latest updates. If you want, I can keep an eye out for new poll releases as the election gets closer.
Cliff AI smart. Cliff AI will not be drawn. Siobhan, I'll allow you.
My questions are usually on the matter of research. So, Cliff, just give me a reminder. What was the date on which the 2020 Wholeness Cabinet was sworn in?
Let me dig into that for you. Just a moment while I check the exact date the 2020 Wholeness Cabinet was sworn in. Hey, just checking in. Are you still there?
I'm still here.
That info on the 2020 Wholeness Cabinet swearing in date. I'm ready whenever you are.
Go ahead. Please give me that information.
All right. Let me find the exact date when the 2020 Wholeness Cabinet was sworn in for you. Just a sec while I check the latest details. The Wholeness Cabinet was sworn in on September 7, 2020. If you need more details about the ceremony or the ministers involved, just let me know.
Please, Cliff, give me some information in terms of the ministers who were sworn in on that day.
Let me dig into the details about the ministers who were sworn in with the Wholeness Cabinet on September 7th, 2020. Just a moment while I check for that list. Are you still with me?
Still here, Cliff.
To share the list of ministers sworn in with the Wholeness Cabinet in 2020. Let me know if you'd like to continue.
Still here, Cliff. Go ahead.
Thanks for waiting. So, on September 7, 2020, Prime Minister Andrew Holness and his new cabinet were officially sworn in. The cabinet included key ministers responsible for areas like finance, health, education, national security, and foreign affairs. If you'd like, I can look up the full list of names and their specific portfolios. Just let me know if you want that detailed breakdown.
Oh, no, that's not necessary, Cliff, but instead, could you give me some information in terms of when Dr. Nigel Clark, the former finance minister, left the island?
That's a timely question. Let me dig into the most recent updates about when Dr. Nigel Clark, the former finance minister, left the island. Just a sec while I check for that info. Dr. Nigel Clark, the former finance minister, departed from the Norman Manley International Airport in Kingston to take up a new role as a deputy managing director. If you'd like the exact date or more details about his new position, just let me know.
Could you tell me where he's taking up that post as deputy managing director?
Absolutely. Dr. Nigel Clark is taking up the post of Deputy Managing Director at the International Monetary Fund, also known as the IMF, if you want more details about his responsibilities.
That is impressive.
Here is what I am thinking about, Dushyant. I'm thinking about accessibility for example, visually challenged listeners and readers. Because when they talk to Cliff, can Cliff read a full story to them?
Yes, if you ask it to read a full story, it can read a full story. What we didn't do is the Patwa part. Would you like to hear it in Patwa?
Yes, sure.
All right, let me turn it on.
Hi, I'm Cliff, your voice news companion. I can read top stories.
Hi, Cliff, can you switch to Jamaican Patwa, please?
Me a switch to Jamaican Patois for your scene. Me can read out the top story them, fetch news from any category, or even summarize any article where you look pan. If you have a favorite author, me can bring you them update too. What you woulda like me to do?
Can you tell me 2 top stories from breaking news, please?
Yeah, we are going in at the breaking news. First up, the U.S. State Department have planned to start a visa bond pilot program. This means people from country where them say overstay visa might have to pay up to $15,000 US as bond fee get them US visa. Jamaica not on the list yet, but people are watch to see if we might get add. Next, the Supreme Court ordered the Integrity Commission to hand over some documents which show concern from one senior investigator about how them did a handle dive probe into Prime Minister Holness' finances. This could delay the hearing was set for October. You want me open any of them article yet? Or you want hear more news item?
No, me good man, thank you.
And as it learns and improves, the accent will also learn and improve.
Correct. See, because it's a self-evolving AI bot, so it will listen, it will learn, and when more people speak to it, it will start picking up accents and start correcting pronunciations too with time.
And how much of this artificial intelligence is unique to each user in terms of, does it curate the experience based on the user?
That is correct. So over time, it will learn what you're asking more often, and it will start preparing all those even before you start the session. When you log in, it will already start curating in the background that, okay, this user usually asks these kind of questions, is interested in these kind of things. So the response time will speed up also with time. Of course, as you can see, it answers almost in less than a second now. As soon as you ask a question, it's instant coming back with the right answers. But with time, it will learn how you want to hear and customize itself.
Some comments on YouTube, Dushyant. Electro Squad says, this man, and I think she means Dushyant and not Cliff AI, is a genius. Mary Jane says, me like it. God bless says, wow, this is gangster patwa. So, Carlene Smith is saying, can this be used in election prediction? They're very political over here on the YouTube, so they want Siobhan and I to ask AI who will win, but we're not going to ask AI that. We're not going to ask AI that at all. But no, this is amazing, and it will be available to the public when?
21st of August. We're going live with it on 21st of August. The other part I didn't mention is also Revo Radio. Of course, please bear in mind, Revo is an extension of Nationwide that we've built for Nationwide, but we wanted to create a new digital, innovative side of Nationwide, which will be purely online AI. And we are also curating 6 new radio stations, the first ever digital radio station of Jamaica, which means that on the app, you can switch between 7 different radio stations. One is, of course, 90 FM that you can listen to, but you can also switch to, for example, Jamaican Gospel, which is 24 hours. You can listen dancehall music, you can listen to reggae classic, reggae modern, and so many other 24-hour by genre. We are building radio stations inside the app that will play 24 hours. You can even customize. You can say from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. or 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. when I wake, please play the Jamaican gospel. So at 6 a.m. it will automatically start playing the Jamaican gospel for you. At evening 7 to 8 you want dancehall music, it will switch to dancehall music and start playing. So not only the news part, but we've also curated 6 new radio stations that Jamaicans will have access to, loads and loads of songs which we believe we won't even repeat for months and months. It's not the same song repeating itself 5 times a day. But we have partnered with one of the largest distribution company of music in the world to give us millions and millions of songs that Jamaicans, but more importantly, see, reggae music is our culture. It is our heritage. And while the world loves it, they have no access to it. So what we've done now, we built 2 radio stations inside the new Revo digital app where you will have a reggae classic and modern reggae. So all the old classics that you don't have access to and all the latest songs until whatever has been recorded and published will be played worldwide. So what we are anticipating that reggae will now truly go worldwide from Jamaica because we've built a digital radio station, first of its kind in Jamaica, that anybody from any part of the world can access and listen.
More comments on YouTube. Ishan Khan says, Ricardo, 4% will now turn 1,000%. We have a running joke that we're the 4%ers. Someone is asking what will happen to the NNN YouTube channel. Just tell them again, Dushyant, that the live TV is YouTube. The YouTube stream. So you'll be able to go on Revo and watch your YouTube as you like it. Jamaican for Life says Revo is very, very impressive. Jeffrey says the Radio Revolution NNN as usual. Yeah, so it's going to be revolutionary. August 21. Is when it goes live, and you'll get to go on and get all your news and all your information. And you can ask Cliff. Cliff will literally says no all the time. Oh, Father Perry's asking what kind of radio stations will it have on the digital stations?
So I've mentioned a few already. So we have Jamaican Gospel, which is 24 hours. We have Reggae Classic. We have Reggae Modern. We've got Dancehall. We've got Global Hits. And one more I can't remember. But there are 6 stations. But see, the beauty is we can add more. If we have a specific genre that Jamaicans want, Jamaican like, we can always add those genres with time. But we had to start somewhere. So we picked the 6 we know for certain will give solid entertainment from morning to night without any gaps all day, all night.
All right. Isomari says, will Revo be premium or have premium features? I know the answer to that. I don't know if you want to reveal that now.
Let's keep something as a surprise.
There you go. There you go. Dushyant Savadia is the CEO and founder of the Amber Group. And he's a genius behind Revo AI, which is powered by Nationwide, coming on August 21. And at that date, you'll have the chance to play around with it. And you can go in and chat and cuss Siobhan when Siobhan write the parliamentary press you don't like. All right. Dushyant will be back on Nationwide this morning with the morning team for more Revo demonstration. And of course, I'm sure George and Sondre will take some of your questions for Dushyant. Yeah? All right. We're going to take the break. And after the break, your calls. And I'm sure you're going to have questions about Revo. I'll do my best to answer them from what I have been briefed on. Yeah? And Siobhan as well. Soon come.
Access every time, everywhere I go. Multi-link, 24/7 access for me. It's just a win-win when we use multi-link. This card is Jamaican built, fast and secure, you can use anywhere. Spend while supporting the economy. Look for the multi-link logo on your card and benefit from Jamaica's largest debit payment network. Multi-link, 24/7 access for me.
What would I do without my multi-link? Are you ready for something mega?
Spend $6,500 or more before GCT, drop your entry in the box and you can win a 2025 Hyundai Tucson. It's the Mega Wheels 2 promotion, April 5th to September 28th. Second prize, a $50,000 shopping spree every month for a year. Third prize, a $30,000 shopping spree every month for a year. Brought to you by Hyundai, Redstone, Heineken, True Milk, Rex, Walker's Wood, Downing, CPJ Daiquiri, and Carryburst. Choose Concentrate. Only at Megamart. Locations island-wide. Megamart, best value by far. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
As of June 1, Jamaica's minimum wage is now $16,000 per 40-hour work week, up 158% from 2016, marking the highest minimum wage in the nation's history. We are building Jamaica.
The time by the office of the Prime Minister is
7:38. That's what it is. All right, 630-9371-24-618-8255. We're taking your calls, and Faithful is up first. Good evening, Faithful.
Good evening, Siobhan. Good evening, Ricardo.
Good evening, Faithful. How are you doing?
Yes, about the Constitution.
Yes.
I'm always advocating for presidential president.
Mm-hmm.
And that was always one of my big briefs. But after listening to Mr. Barnett, I'm convinced that it may not be the best way out.
Yes.
I think he convinced me.
Yeah, no, his argument is solid.
Yeah, cause when I check in Africa and in South America and all this, it's true.
Yes.
It's always some form of dictatorship and so.
Yes, it descends into that.
Right.
America has been the exception, and I knock on wood.
I'm not sure about that anymore.
Well, it's been the exception thus far, but yes, other countries certainly have dissented.
Yeah, it come to change my opinion and that. And I think that's very good. That's why we need to listen more
yes.
to those who know more.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. Secondly, yes. Put it to answer the Constitution also.
Mm-hmm.
The Prime Minister and the opposition leader pick two persons to be on it, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
They also advise one more person.
But the opposition leader chose two people, I believe. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But in addition, did they advise that one other person should be on it?
I believe so, yes.
Hugh
that they
Small,
had
yes. Hugh Small, I believe.
Yes.
Was yeah.
So, you're right. So is it not ironic or both Mr. Small, who were advised by Mr. Golden to be on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
He always take the same position that Mr. Golden and the member take? Because whenever he's on the program, he's always said that he's an independent person. But his voting pattern does not suggest that he's independent.
His views could maybe just align with those of the People's National Party's members. Not necessarily. It could still just be his view, even if it seems that its alignment is with the opposition.
I think that strains believability, Siobhan. But I hear you. No, absolutely. No. I would never say Hugh Small is not entitled to his view, but yeah, right. I take Faithful's point.
Everybody entitled to their views, but I just find a bit at all times, both those that Mr. Golden pick and we advise, they are always in some kind of wrangling with the commissioners them. And those three are always on the same page. But yet still at the same time, he always point to that he's independent. But his ruling and his speech does not suggest that.
All right, Faithful, hear you. Marcus the Best says Rwanda, Uganda has executive presidency and they are relatively stable. I don't think those are the examples you want to use, Marcus.
More in recent days, yes.
But Rwanda is probably like a benevolent dictatorship.
Yes.
Yeah, and Uganda, I don't know. Who is it? Michael.
Yes, sir. How are you this evening, sir?
I am doing all right, Michael. How are you?
You hear me?
Yes, man. How are you?
Yeah, man. I listen to man. I like when the star in the show, you know.
All right.
Yeah, man, cause to what I go on, you know, it seems like the election come up right now.
Yes. We expect it to be called on Sunday.
We want to tell the people and say, to all our brothers and sisters like to see this election one of the peacefulest election, man.
Agreed.
Yeah, cause over these years, me up on the street trying at the 70s, man, coming right through some dangerous election going on, enough killing and all, and thing. Would I like to see it bloodless this year, man?
Agreed, my brother.
And the next thing I'm going to tell you about, you know, would I like them step up and with the education business for the youth them. Any one of them rise and come there if they come with a good plan to the education, because the education drop down for most youth.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah, man. I want to have a good evening, because I know me like how I start the show, because I know say some more people want to say something, you know. So I want to have a good evening here, sir.
All right, Coffee Boss.
Yeah, man.
All right. Michael there, 630-937-124, 618-8255. Who do we have next? Bobby.
Bobby.
Yes, good evening, my two good friends.
Good
How
evening,
you doing?
Bobby. How are you?
Boys, a long time now I don't get the chance to talk to you guys because, you know, says is my season now and I am right around the country.
You're busy.
You're spreading the message.
So what you picking up around the country?
Well, I can tell you, we're gone clear. Clear.
You have gone clear 4 weeks before the election day.
No, look here now. No, you asked me what I am picking up around the country.
You put nobody no vote yet, so you say you're gone clear.
Well, the fact is, Ricardo, according to the people whom I interview,
yes,
and I sit and I have a talk with, if the election call right now, I don't want to tell you the result.
But I'm not right now. It's a call.
Oh, you hear, Bobby?
4 weeks right now. I have 4 weeks right now.
Bobby, what the proverb is about chickens and hatching.
And eggs.
Exactly.
Well, the fact
and that a week in politics is a very long time.
Well, right
I have
now,
4 more weeks to go.
Well, right now, me not count my exam before now because based on what I pick up, because let's see, even last night, it's after 1 this morning me reaching, you know.
Okay, where did they? Where did they?
My team and I, we were right around the country. As a matter of fact, we were coming from West Plan last night.
Okay.
Yeah, man. And trust me, and whatever.
How much seat in a win in Westmoreland? How much seat in a win in Westmoreland?
Well, look here. We are trying all of them.
Okay. All right.
All of them. Yeah, but what I want to ask you, did the police come on nationwide this evening and explain the reason why he give permit for the PNP to have their mass rally in Crossroad while the JLP have their own in Halfway Tree?
Well, we weren't able to get the ACP to tell us who applied first. So we don't know. But he assures the nation that the police will be able to manage.
I only hope so. Because, trust me, this to me is very frightening. Because Halfway Tree to Crossroad, it is just a couple meters away.
No, it's more than a couple meters.
Well,
it's a good little drive.
Well,
and if you walk, it's even
It's a healthy walk.
Yeah.
That's why I put it.
Yeah.
It's a healthy walk.
Because look here, remember saying say people have to pass Halfway Tree and go to Crossroad. People have to pass Crossroad and go to Halfway Tree.
Yes, and we discussed that with him, and he advised that there, based on conversations, he didn't put it stronger than that he had with the political parties, that it seems that different routes are going to be used to avoid each other. Certainly, that's what I understood.
We just have to put the faith and trust that our institutions will deliver on the promises they've made and stand by to see as to whether those promises are kept.
Well, I hope so.
Say, I got Halfway Tree, or you're covered?
To me? No. I don't cover that nothing, man.
Say, I got Halfway Tree.
Oh, Ricardo.
No, but you know, that's the thing, you know. The labor right never complain to me about the two meeting, but when they say, yeah, I go, of course, me, I go, of course.
Of course.
So what I complain for?
I will be there.
So what I complain for?
And no, man, no. It is the timing. You know, it is the timing.
All right.
Right. And the last thing I want to talk about is that, did you hear the caretaker over in Eastern St. Thomas, I think it was, saying that if the PMP return to office, he's going to pay the coffee farmers $22,000 a box.
West St. Thomas.
Hubert.
Hubert.
Mm-hmm.
He's moved away from that somewhat. He says he's going to invest in their technology and irrigation to better their yield or something to that effect. He's moved away from that insane promise.
Well, I've told my listeners my view of Mr. What is it, Williams?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he should be elected to Parliament.
Right, you know, exactly. Because, look here, anybody from the JLP come out and say that to any constituency that they are going to run, I will be personally ask the General Secretary to remove him. Because you cannot go out there and try to hoodwink the people like that.
But that's one of the least troubling things he said in recent times, Bobby.
All right, Bobby. Thanks for the call. Who done it?
Good evening, Siobhan. Good evening, Mr.
Good evening,
so why you never tell us yet who done it? Who did it? Who actually did it? Who actually did it?
Who did it? Well, so like you want to know the genesis of this name, who done it?
Yeah, who did it? I tell you, who did it?
Boy, there's so many things that I have done. Some of them my father did it, who is no longer here.
Wow.
And I'm just continuing its pace. I don't really have a temperament. I just have a little way of doing my things because he was a very decent gentleman, but had a temper. Okay. And I believe it is that temper that has caused his life to be long, to be short. What happened though? Yeah, man, I've done a lot of things in the work site. A lot of things that couldn't happen when I went to I think this policy, it was shoreline protection project, which had a grade 1 contractor. And when I went on it, every time they set out a 1 and 2, the Chinese came there and looked at it and says rubbish. And that goes on for about 2 months. When I came on the site, I solved that and more. When the Chinese came there to inspect the work, they said, look, we don't need to come out from our vehicle. Why it took you guys so long? So I just say this to say that's the identification, but it was an embarrassment for a grade 1 contractor to catch a 1 and 2. Sixth form I would be able to, a grade 6 I would be able to do something like that. But there's a lot of other things to it. There was politics and all of that stuff. That is one of the whodunit things, you know. But what I really call about 2 things, Siobhan.
Yes.
The Taxi Association, Mr. Edgerton Newman, and I believe they have 2 others, Leon Chance and another gentleman.
There's quite a few across the island, but go ahead, yes.
Yes, are they in sync with the PNP sort of hijacking the taxi, man?
Why you say that? Why you ask that?
Well, are they in with it? Because what I'm saying, remember, the taxi is a public transportation, you know.
Yes.
What if on election day, you know, the taxi is going to be on politics mission, you know. And what if there's problem? Innocent people going about them ways in taxi might also be at risk. So I think Edgerton Newman and the president should make a statement to say, let me know their position, let me know what are they in sync with this.
I don't think that necessary. Yeah, I don't think that necessary. Not only unlike, I don't think it's necessary.
the taxi drivers are very much.
You think taxi
They're all
drivers?
independent?
No, hold on. Hold on.
They're very much varied and diverse.
Yeah, obviously you'll have PMP leading taximen and JLP leading taximen. But my point is, you think that there are taximen who are going to be paid to do mobilization, kind of free them do it on election day because Dayton Campbell tell them, say, don't do it, they're not going to do it? No, come on, man. I remember there was a strike once. There's this video, and the guy was sitting in his car counting his money. And they say, you're not going to strike. He said, me love money, me not love man. That's what he said. And they found it hilarious. So yeah, I don't think that will be determinative. Not at all.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think he should. You are saying you don't think Mr. Newman should say anything?
I don't think
there's any reason to be dragged into that squabble.
Okay, my other thing before.
No, man, you can't get through because we're almost out of time. Good on it. Thank you for the call. Carl.
Evening, Ricardo. Evening, Chab.
Evening, Carl.
Let me ask you, Carl. You're not going to do no work for election. They didn't come say you shouldn't do any work. You must run the labor right then when them come.
Well, me not listen to big yard people like first. So me just that's so the answer question.
You know, I don't know why I ask you that. You should have known better than to ask you that.
Me not listen to people who come like and live in some big yard and then get up a quarrel over pipe and outside bathroom. So me not listen to them type of person. Big yard people you call them there.
What is on your mind? What is that?
Anyhow, I have a problem with the mayor, the Kingston and St. Andrew, Mr. Swaby.
What's your problem with him?
Mr. Swaby didn't wear the color come to the national arena yesterday. In fact, the British citizens. I don't have a problem with the British citizens.
Hold on, wait. Pause for a cause. Hold on, because the Labour them are running something. No. Bugs, I'm going to send you a picture and you put it up on YouTube for me. The opposition leader actually did have green in his
look at data green.
But the facts, hold on. The facts matter.
Yeah.
We said no green in there. Green.
You never said no green in there, did you?
No, man. Initially, people were saying there was no green.
Yeah.
So, just for completeness, the listeners can decide how they see it. But, you know.
Did you see the Prime Minister and Mrs. Babsy Grange?
I did, yes.
Right. Did you see the other people, them who was in the national arena, in stadium? How them appropriately wear the flag?
Yes.
Right. So I don't have a problem with the British citizen. And he's not a part of us. Which you know he's not a part of us. But I have a problem with Swaby, who born in Jamaica. I supposed to have a birth certificate for Jamaica. He must do better than that. The next point I want to raise with you. I heard a lot of people keep asking that the government must put out a manifesto.
Yes. Manifesto.
Right. Manifesto. Can you imagine over 4 years now?
Manifesto. Yes.
Right. Over 4 years now, you've been asking the British citizens to put out one that we can punch hole in a hit and find out where they're making these bag of error. I remember one time you go upstairs and go talk rubbish. The spokesman for education continue to talk rubbish. If you notice how Dr. Dawes quiet for another day. And
Carl, tell me something, Carl. Tell me something. When the guy been there, just dream of Magoli, you know?
I'm not dreaming.
No, Magoli doesn't live in rent free.
No, but the reason why.
You know, say, let me tell you something. Hold on now. You know, say, a month now, you're going to give me some achievements?
All right, maybe let me come to you with the achievements.
You don't come with no achievement.
No, man,
every night you just come, Mark Goldie.
Me that come with it because you see me move to the manifesto like a while. And me don't tell you. If people look on it, we carry down the debt. Crime is down. That's all. Dr. Gary Mackenzie can give that welcome this evening. Say he will able to have peace in a corporate era because what the police them have done. All of that been done of a policy of this government.
Okay. Oh, is that why they gave the approval? Because crime.
That's why he could give that assurance.
You're easy, you know. If
you're anything, you are consistent.
Yes.
You're consistent. I will give you that. You're consistent.
If he never look how crime are good, you think he could have give that assurance to meet like that I keep in a corporate here at Kingston and St. Andrew.
All right, Carl.
Anyhow.
Yes.
Hospital bill, the debt come down, poverty down, crime down, hospital bill.
Are you still a worry about Goldie?
No, but hold on, Ricardo. Yes. I tell you about, I went to a funeral in Portmore. I'm not going to call the pastor name. And there was an election that come up, just like how you see this year come up. And the pastor talked, just a lot of us come up. It was a taxi driver did dead by somebody did stab him or something like that. Long time now. And when the pastor get up to go preach, there was an election coming up like this. And him said that I never even bother go to Dovecote. Him say, could you find yourself going into a polling station in next few weeks from now to vote for somebody which is not your color?
Anyway, as always, Carl, you will find some way to go too far.
You will be in halfway tree on
No,
Sunday?
you can't ask me that, Ricardo. I will be a madman. My prime minister will be there. We're born a Spanish town.
Anyway, we're out of time. Goodbye, Carl. The picture book. Put a picture for me, please. This is the opposition leader at the Grand Gala last evening. Now zoom in for me, Bugs. On the...
I'm trusting your word, Ricardo.
It's there. On the shirt pocket. You have to zoom in on the shirt pocket for me.
Give me a zoom there, Bugs.
Zoom. All right. Bugs' figure got the zoom.
I'm trusting your word.
I zoomed. It's there. It's a sliver of green. But it's there. Right below what them call it? Piping? Is that them call it piping?
I will say this, Ricardo. It saddens me to this day that I have to curate my wardrobe. I know there are certain things I just simply cannot wear.
All right, here we go. See the green there.
You sure that's not black?
See green.
I think I see it.
Yeah. Of course you see it. There it is. You have to zoom in. And then I zoom it out. It's there.
All right,
there you go. So...
I wish we didn't have to do things like that, honestly.
I'm just... Mona says that toops are green. Yes, but it's there. You know, and the facts matter. Honestly, there was no green. I was saying it was there. Now, whether you accept that is appropriate is another matter. But the fact is, the green was there. That's a fact. Yeah? See it there. Zoom out now. When you zoom out, it disappears. That's all the time we have. Oh, Mrs. Golding looks lovely, by the way.
She does.
Yes. So too the culture minister. I think all the ladies showed up and showed out yesterday. Mrs. Sandra Golding looks lovely. The culture minister looks lovely. And you know who took the cake for me, as she does every single year? What's her title now? Vice Admiral? Antoinette Weems Gorman, the Chief of Defense Staff.
She's a lovely lady, isn't she?
What a woman. Man, what a time, though. Dana Davey, thank you. Andrew Glenn Anderson, the man behind the controls. Appreciate you, sir. My colleagues in the newsroom, our sponsors, contributors, and you, our valued listeners. We appreciate you so much. My name is Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
Later.
Escape to Isla Isle in a grill where